Oh no.
And also, okay. And first,
No,
I
it
wanna
doesn't.
clarify.
It doesn't depend on the person. So do
But you said your reality, and
Am-
also before you go
am
on,
I-
I just want to make
no,
a point
no,
about your earlier
Azu,
thing
hold on,
about,
hold on.
Well, so you can make multiple
let's,
points.
No,
but
let's
I
stay
can't
on
reply.
track. No, you just want to
This
skip
is
all
on
around.
track.
No, it's not.
I'm not
so,
trying to skip. Whoa.
Are we
Okay.
both talking right now? Do you agree with me that we are talking right now?
Yeah.
Why do you believe we are talking right now?
Why do I believe? Because I know that I have objective truth. I'm making an internal.
Oh, you have
critique on your-
objective
on your
truth.
view.
Great. So do you believe in objective morals?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, point me in the direction of an objective moral.
They come from the nature of God.
No,
who's ultimately
tell me
good.
a subjective moral.
An objective moral.
Yeah, point me to one.
Murder.
Oh, good. So what is murder?
Well, first I'd say that.
What is
to be
murder?
Clear, I'm saying a
Azu.
moral,
Azu.
an objective. Well, I want to give the definition before we move on. So, an objective
that's
moral
fine.
truth exists independently of human opinions.
Yep, I agree. So,
Just to make sure.
what is murder?
So let's say if it
Azu,
if
what
it
is murder?
wrong
Why
to
do you keep
torture
running?
innocent
I'm just
people,
gonna mute
this
you
isn't running.
because you won't directly answer anything and you just keep going off on
I'm
tangents.
giving you an answer. Yeah, look at you. Don't mute me, bro. So I'm giving you the answer.
Oh, I will
right
mute
now.
you if you don't engage. So,
So you're
what
dishonest.
is
Why-
your
you're
definition of
filibustering.
murder?
I made an internal critique. You moved on.
What?
And now you're asking me questions.
No, you made
just
no
ran.
internal critique. So
Saying
here's
that
the deal.
things can only be
What
found
is
in the world
murder?
is a presupposition.
What is murder?
It's a foundational assumption tied to metaphysical nature of physicalism. So you're
That's
just
what murder is?
It's an unjustified killing.
Yeah,
so-
Azu won't answer the question. What is murder?
You won't answer my question that was prior to
What?
yours.
No, I already did. You are just wrong. It isn't a
No, you said that
presupposition.
it's
It's a
not a
supposition. Do you know what a
presupposition. No.
presupposition is?
It reflects a foundational assumption tied to a metaphysical naturalism. That is your presupposition that things can only
No,
be found in
I
the
don't
world.
believe.
That is a
I do not
presupposition.
believe it is
That's a
metaphysical.
presupposition.
You are
Yeah.
are presupposing
It's-
metaphysics.
that's a
I am not.
That's a metaphysical statement. Things can only be found in the world.
That is
Metaphysical
not.
world, that's a
I never.
metaphysical
I
statement.
never made that statement.
metaphysical
You are the only
naturalism.
one that has made that
Yes, you
statement.
did.
Ozu, what is murder?
You agreed with it.
What is murder?
What the other guy said.
Oh, okay. Unjustified killing. So is it ever justified to unalive an infant?
Look at you running. Look at
Is
you.
it
You're
okay? I'll just
filibustering
get
now.
rid
You're
of you.
running. Yeah.
I'll just get rid of you if you don't want to actually engage in the conversation. So, do you want to engage in a conversation, or you want to run around in circles?
I brought up a topic. And
yeah,
you ran
and you
away.
just were wrong,
ran
and
away.
I've already proved you wrong,
You
Ozu.
ran
So
away
let's.
because you're a little pussy and you're a bitch.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
get it.
that's what it is.
Azu.
I mean, you run away.
He's about to challenge you on
Oh
your
my
objective
God.
morals. So just let him.
This
let him
guy,
ask
I'm
you
saying that
questions.
he can't even get off
What-
the ground in his world.
what
My
is
question
murder?
prior to
Ozu.
his question. You
Okay.
can't make that knowledge
Yep.
claim.
Are you prepared? Are you prepared to defend your
He's
objective
not.
morals here?
Yeah, I am. By
He's
saying
been spiraling since he got here.
Well,
you
then
can't
if-
make that
okay.
statement yet. You can't even make that statement. That's
I already
knowledge
did.
claim. You
So-
can't make that.
So
I'm
you
saying
already
that I'm
said.
going to-
Okay, so you already said that
to a
murder is
prior
an.
question.
You've already said that murder is an objective moral, Ozu. So
you can't even
and you-
talk about it yet because in your
Ozu,
worldview,
shut the
that's-
fuck up and listen for
Oh,
a
yeah, see,
second.
look, you just want to filibuster and ramble on
Ozu-
with your fat mouth.
No, you
because
will
don't
not-
even want to understand my
he's
argument prior to what you're saying. Prior.
He's purposely
It's prior.
trying to get kicked off alive because he knows he's
Prior.
purposely trying to get kicked off.
This is not me trying to get kicked off. This is a prior.
Ozu, why
question.
are you purposely trying to get kicked off?
Why is this guy trying to virtue signal me from the side, dude? Can this guy shut up? Oh my god.
Ozu, are you going to answer my question? What is murder?
It's prior. You can't make that statement yet. You can't even ask
Ozu,
that
it's a
yet.
question for you. You said there's objective morals, and you said your objective moral is murder.
So
What is
you're a retard
murder?
and you can't understand what I'm saying.
What is he claiming? Ozu, what are you claiming? What is it that you're saying we can't do?
He can't make a knowledge claim. He can't make a.
No,
you
I
can't even
can.
say you can't make any claim at all in your worldview because it doesn't.
That's not
allow-
true.
That's what I'm trying to get to
What-
right
what
now.
is-
But
what
you're
is-
saying no.
what-
Let's get
what
to
is-
something that's second order. I'm going to a first order.
What
question.
is our worldview? What is our worldview? What is it?
Am I talking to you, dude, on the side? Where did this dude come from? Huh? Seriously?
He's my co-host. If you don't like
So
it, you can
what
leave,
is-
Ozu.
what is our worldview? Tell us what our worldview is.
Can I get Bottles in the chat for Ozu? Because all he wants to do is
I can't
cry.
tell you if you keep muting me. Like, your worldview is that things can only be found in the world, the physical world. That's your worldview. That's part of it.
Things can only be found in the physical world. What does that mean?
There's
What does that mean?
there's no such thing as abstracts or universals.
What? How do you know that's my worldview?
Yeah, so you're a retard. You got it.
See,
So you're just
that's
gonna
all
insult,
Ozu
you're
has.
just gonna
He has
insult me,
nothing-
is it? Okay.
Yeah, he has nothing to add. He just came up here to cry and insult people. That's literally all he came here for.
Was that guy a Christian?
Yeah.
Oh, typical Christian. Typical Christian.
Yeah, it was pretty... he had no argument, so he just cried from the beginning. All right, guys.
How's everyone doing?
I'm doing good, Skits. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for inviting me to join your live yesterday.
Oh,
Or
for
the day
sure,
before,
man.
Whatever it was.
How
How are all the Joy Boys doing in the chat?
I always love having you around, Skits.
I feel like I'm on a delay. Am I on a delay?
Not with me, I don't think.
Okay.
Was that Darth's son? Maybe.
Just barely pulled up the live. I just barely joined, and all of a sudden that guy was just screaming. I don't. What was he trying to argue?
He was saying that I have a presupposition that nothing can be found outside of the universe, which is not what I said. What I said is you would have to be able to physically show me something for me to know it is true. That is just, we have senses and reasoning that through our brain. So the only way to know if something is true or not is to physically see it and touch it and have
Yeah. That's why, I mean, I don't know. I like philosophy, but I also don't at the same time, because it's just like, I especially hate talking about, well, how do you even know? How do you know this? How do you ground knowledge? Because, like, when it comes down to it, we really can't truly know anything for certainty, you know?
No, I don't believe in truth claims. I don't believe in transcendentals. So, I mean, it's all nonsense. And they can't prove a transcendental existing.
Darth wipes back to front.
Yeah, I saw that. Guys, keep tapping that screen. Share out the live. Hopefully we'll get some more guests up in here. I don't know where Crystal is tonight. Thursday either. How's it going, Amros?
Hi, I am an atheist. I just wanted to say a big thank you to both of you. I just love what you're doing. And one of the things is like, I'm an Uber driver on the weekends, and because you do you save these to YouTube, I listen to these while I drive, and it just keeps me going and keeps me, like, you both have very different styles of debating, but I love every last minute of it. Like, I'm following you, both of you. I watch on YouTube. I also watch Justin, Deconstruction Justin, and a few others. But I just wanted to say thank you and just let you know that I save you for my drives. So,
well, I appreciate you, awesome. Amros. It's always nice to hear that what we are doing is actually having a little bit of an impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad we could help you pass the time.
Yeah, it helps me pass the time. And it helps me. Like, I've been an atheist for over 20 years, so it's not like it's something that's new for me or anything like that. But it does help me further have better arguments, I would say. That, like, when things are brought up, I'd be like, you know what? Actually, this is, like, it just helps me rethink some things and remind me what I came to over 20 years ago and why I became an atheist, and just this whole community on TikTok has just opened me up to, like, other people, because no one in my life is an atheist. I don't know other atheists, but TikTok brought me that, and it introduced me to all of you guys. So I'm just really grateful for that. So,
are you part of our Discord, Amros?
I'm not, but I want to be, but I haven't done it. I tried to join Discord once, and then I was completely lost. I was like, I don't know about this. I need to figure out how to use it, and I would love.
Yeah, that's how I am.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it. I read a lot of the comments and stuff, but I don't interact a lot just because I'm just a little overwhelmed trying to figure out how to do different things. So I just kind of
it's I don't even know what half the things are on Discord, like the features and stuff. I don't even know what it is.
Yeah, like I'd like to.
But yeah, thank you so much.
Because I do want to actually have interactions with people. Because most of the time, when you guys are on TikTok and debating, you really try and keep it to debating people who are believers, who are theists. And I don't want to interrupt that, but I was like, you know what, there's no one in the box. Let me get on now while I can so that I'm not, interrupting.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Thank you for being here, Amros. I'm going to drop you down and see what Alessandro has to say, but have a great night.
Thank you, Amros.
Thank you.
When Amros.
Alessandro, can I get your
Crystal.
age for TikTok purposes? Hey, Skits.
I'm 18 years old.
Are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and talk with Skits and Joyful.
All right, well, why do you think God is evil? That's my question.
Because he supports slavery and he commands babies to be unalived, and he says you can throw stones at your children if you find out they're worshiping other gods, stuff like that.
All right, where does he say that slavery is okay?
Yeah, he says slavery is morally permissible in Leviticus and Exodus.
Okay, so I actually researched on this a while ago. Actually, just yesterday. It says to all those slaves to obey their masters and to submit to them.
Yep.
So this had me thinking, wait, why would God do that? Isn't he supposed to be all good? Mm-hmm. And later on, it was because sorry, I'm stuttering. I'm kind of nervous.
Don't be nervous.
Well, what did Jesus do when he was getting crucified? Did he beg them to stop? Did he submit?
No, he submitted, but we aren't talking about people having to submit to their masters. We're talking about where God literally told his people how they could obtain slaves and that it was permissible.
Yeah, he says you can own them for life and that you can even pass them on to your children. Are you there? If you're out of the app, we can't hear you. You got to come back to the app.
Oh, sorry. What's the
if you swipe out of the app, we can't hear you. So just stay on that.
My fault. What verse does that say?
Leviticus 25, 44 through 46.
Leviticus 45 to 46.
25.
25 to 26?
No, it's chapter 25, verses 44 through 46.
Okay.
You want me to read it? Do you want me to read it to you so you don't have to swipe out of the app?
Yes. Yeah.
It says, about your men and women slaves, you may get men and women slaves from the nations around you. Also, you may get children as slaves if they come from the families of the foreigners living in your land. These child slaves will belong to you. You may even pass these foreign slaves on to your children after you die, so that they will belong to them. They will be your slaves forever. You may make slaves of these foreigners, but you must not be a cruel master over your own brothers, the Israelites. So that's God telling the Israelites that they are allowed to get slaves from non-Israelites.
Well, I guess back then slavery wasn't about, owning people's lives. Like I said.
It says you can own them for life. It says you can own them forever.
Yes. Well, what's it called?
And you're allowed to beat your slave, too. With a rod.
Okay, what does that say?
In Exodus 21, 20 to 21, you're allowed to beat your slave with no punishment as long as the slave does not die. But if the slave dies, you'll be punished. But if the slave gets up after a day or two, you will not be punished. Anyone who beats their male or female slave with a rod must be punished if the slave dies as a direct result, but they are not to be punished if the slave recovers after a day or two, since the slave is their property. So you're allowed to own them forever, and you can beat them with a rod. This is straight up like 1800 slavery. This is the same thing as the American South slavery.
Oh well.
Oh shit, where'd he go?
I don't know, but Crystal got dropped too. I'm not sure what exactly is happening there. Well, let's try this.
Come back up here, Alessandro, if you want to.
Yep.
If you're still here. Hello, Jesus.
Yes, praise God, man. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Yes,
good.
sir.
How you doing?
Good, man. I just listened like probably like a few minutes of the conversation about slavery, and and I do agree slavery is wrong.
Oh, really? Why do you disagree with your God?
I do agree slavery is wrong. I do agree every human is created equal, and
But why do you disagree with your all good God?
this is the Old Testament. This is the Old Testament, and that was Moses' command. That was not the. Yes,
Well, no, but Moses got these laws from God.
Not every law is got it from God. Sometimes he spoke from his own mind.
No, I'll read you the beginning of this this chapter. It says, "The Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, saying, 'Speak to the Israelites and say to them,'" and then it goes through a list of laws, and slavery is one of them laws.
Okay. But the law was abolished through New Testament.
Nope. Incorrect.
No, it wasn't. Jesus even said that not one bit of the old law will go away until the heavens and the earth are gone. And Jesus said that anyone who follows the old law will be the greatest in God's kingdom. Do you care about being great? You care about being great in your God's kingdom?
Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay, go ahead. Jesus Christ did not abolish the law, but fulfill the law. Because you have an.
What does it mean? What does that mean? Hold on. What does that mean to fulfill a law? What's that mean?
He canceled. Like the punishment for the law was
No,
death.
he didn't cancel it.
He did it. You have like 50 laws in the Old Testament where Jesus Christ canceled it and established like a better.
Where did Jesus say? Where did Jesus say I'm canceling the law? Where does he say that?
He said on the cross, it is finished.
Okay, so is schmurdering somebody a sin?
Of course.
Why is that a sin? Because that's one of the laws.
It says you shall not kill.
Yeah,
so
in
you
the
shall
law.
not,
But you
unalive.
said you don't have to follow the law anymore.
It's like about the law you have about moral law. The moral law is established forever.
All right, which laws are moral laws? Is slavery a moral issue?
Yeah, we recognize slavery is wrong, right? Do you agree
Yeah,
with
but slavery is a moral law. That would be a moral issue, correct?
We recognize it's wrong, but your God doesn't.
Yes.
Yeah, so that would be one of the moral laws you're supposed to hold to.
No.
Wait, I got a question for you, Jesus.
Yes, sir.
What's worse, slavery or working on the Sabbath?
Slavery is worse.
So why did God say no working on the Sabbath, but he didn't say no slavery?
Yeah, this says in the law, after 7 years, you can release a slave.
Only if they're Hebrew.
Yeah, only through Hebrew. Not
Only
before
yeah,
slaves.
yeah. And there was understanding. There was understanding of slavery in Old Testament, which we don't practice. Was understanding like of judgment and punishment.
But wait, why, if working on this, if slavery is worse than working on the Sabbath, why didn't God include that into like the things you shouldn't do? Like he says, don't lie, don't wear mixed fabrics, don't work on the Sabbath. Why didn't he say, and also don't have slaves?
It was Old Testament form of judgment.
Yeah, I know it's in the Old Testament, but why didn't
Yes,
he
sir.
add slavery to the list of things of do not do?
Because from the Old Testament concept, which was the Old Testament brought the law. Sometimes God was executing judgment. And one of the form of
Why didn't God add slavery to the list of things that the list of do not do things?
like you shall not have slave?
Right, like
Yeah,
thou shalt
for
not, don't cut your beard, don't eat
Right.
shellfish, don't wear mixed fabrics, don't work on the Sabbath, don't lie, don't do this, don't do that. Why didn't he add slavery to that list of do not do's?
I don't know. It's up to God, man. I don't know what to say.
You know why? You know why he didn't add slavery to that list? You know why? Because because God supports slavery. He wants you to. He's totally fine with you having slaves. That is why he didn't put slavery on the list of things to not do. If God didn't want you to have slaves, if God didn't want the Israelites to have slaves, he would have put slavery on the list of things you're not supposed to do.
Okay.
So therefore, God thinks slavery is totally acceptable. So therefore, this God is evil because slavery is abhorrent and evil.
Do you believe slavery can be a form of judgment? If God decided to judge a nation because they're extremely wicked. Because he did many times in the Old Testament.
Well, what did the children do that you're allowed to own as slaves? What did they do that deems them to be judged worthy of being owned as a slave?
The children.
Yeah, it says you can own children as slaves. What did they do? What are they being judged for?
It does put conditions to don't beat them up, to don't kill them.
Yeah,
Right.
just don't.
You're allowed to beat your slave with no punishment as long as the slave doesn't die, and as long as you don't beat them on the head and like knock an eye out or a tooth out, then
Right.
you can just whip them all over their back, all over their body, arms and legs, and that's fair game. You're allowed to do that.
Do you guys believe about the same position about the Quran, or only the Christianity?
No,
Yeah,
I'm
not too-
the same with the Quran.
Okay,
I'm not
okay.
too familiar with the Quran.
Yeah, the
But-
Quran says that you can own war slaves.
Right.
Yep.
Did you know that your God? Did you know that your God supports grape too?
Sports what?
Rape.
Rape?
Yep.
No.
Did you know your God supports his soldiers capturing women in war and forcing them to be wives?
No. Can you show me the verse?
Yeah, it's Deuteronomy 21.
21.
10 through, yeah, Deuteronomy 21, 10 through 14.
Hey, 1 second. That's is Moses speaking, right? Hey, 1 second. Bro, give me 10 minutes.
I just want to know, like, if your mother was in this passage, would your mother being raped in that passage? If that was happening to your mother?
Deuteronomy 10:14.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 21, chapter 21.
Verses 10 through 14.
Yeah, 10 through 14.
Okay,
Yeah.
give me 1 second. Wait. 21. Deuteronomy.
Guys, please keep tapping them likes. Let's try to get them likes up, get us further out into the algorithm, please. I appreciate all of you.
Make sure you guys are following the host.
Okay.
So you need to set a new subby goal.
Amen.
New account.
Let's talk about when you go to war against your enemies and the Lord your God delivers them into your hand and take the captives, and you see among captives a beautiful woman and desire her to take you to be your wife, then you shall bring her home to your house, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails. She shall be put off the clothes of her captivity, remain in your house and mourn her father and her mother. Full month after you might go unto her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. And ye shall be, if you have no delight in her, then you shall set her free, but you certainly shall not sell her for money. You shall not treat her brutally, because you have humbled her.
Yeah, if that was happening to your mother, would your mother be being raped in that passage?
No, this is not.
So if I saw your mother and thought she was beautiful, and I captured her and unalived her parents and took her to my house and kept her there for 30 days, and then after that I make her my wife, you're saying your mother has not been raped?
Yeah, this law is not okay.
So if I put your mother in that passage, your mother has been raped. You're saying yes?
Yeah, I'm saying this law is not okay. It's not okay.
It's not okay. Yeah,
No.
this is barbaric. This is a war crime. But this is what your God says you're allowed to do. Like, this is what God told the Israelites. Hey, if you go out to battle and you see a beautiful woman, you can capture her and force her to be your wife. And then if you're not happy with her, you can kick her to the curb and let her go free.
Right.
Did you know your God? Did you know that your God supported that?
This one, they abolished these laws. We don't practice them anymore.
Is God's laws is God's moral? What am I trying to say? Is God's morality forever? Like, does God's morals change?
Yeah, we live in a new dimension of the grace right now.
What did Jesus say about the old law? What did Jesus say?
The old law was finished on the cross. Well, it's meaning, like, let me give you
Where
an
does he
example.
say? Where does Jesus say that all of the stuff in the Old Testament no longer applies? Where does he say that?
Yeah. Give me 1 second. He says, "I didn't have to break the law, but to fulfill it." Right. But let me explain.
He says, "I've not come to abolish it."
Right.
And that anyone who doesn't obey these Old Testament laws will be the least in God's kingdom. He says that not one letter, not one stroke of the law will go away until the heavens and the earth are gone. Is the earth gone, sir?
No, sir.
So then these old laws apply.
No.
Why are you disagreeing with Jesus?
Let me explain. Because Bible says the wage of sin is death, and by the law.
You're just preaching now. You're just preaching.
No, I'm responding to the question, brother. Give me 30 seconds. Like, if by the old law, one second, by the old law, we deserve death, right? By the old law.
I don't even know what you're talking about now. You're just we're asking you. Go ahead.
So are you saying that nobody can be saved by the old law?
Yeah, of course, yeah. Let me give an example.
Okay, hold on. So in Luke, when it says that Elizabeth and Zachariah, the mom and dad of John the Baptist, were righteous in God's eyes because they were blameless according to the law, was Luke wrong about that?
Yeah, they were righteous.
Because they followed the law, right?
They followed the moral law, not to kill, not to steal.
Yeah, so you can be saved by the law.
You cannot. There is not one verse in the Bible who says you can be saved by the law.
I just read it to you. Do you want me to read it again?
Go ahead.
All right. Give me just 1 second. In the time of Herod, king of Judea, I'll start back just a little further. There was a priest named Zechariah who belonged to the priestly division of Abijah. His wife Elizabeth was also a descendant of Aaron. Both of them were righteous in the sight of God for observing all the Lord's commands and decrees blamelessly. So they were righteous in God's eyes because of the law, not because of grace.
Right.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So you can be saved by the law.
By the deeds of the law, no man shall be justified.
We don't need Jesus. Jesus died for nothing. We can be saved by the law.
Because by the deeds of the law come the knowledge of sin.
Okay, so was Luke wrong when he said they were righteous because they followed the law?
They were righteous. They were in the right standing with God.
Because they followed the law.
Yes, they followed the moral law, brother.
Hold on. So if they were righteous, would that mean they would go to would be going to heaven because of the righteousness, or would they still be going to hell if Jesus didn't die?
They will go to heaven, but they will go...
Yeah, because of the law. Again,
no.
Yep.
They'll go to heaven because they're looking to Jesus in future. Every person will be saved by Jesus, even the one they look in the past.
Do you think... Jesus, do you think all of God's laws are good?
All the moral law is perfect. The moral law, not to kill, not to steal, not to commit adultery.
Like every command. What about does every command from God good? Everything he commands.
Everything from the New Testament is good.
What about the Old Testament?
Old Testament, no.
So God made bad commands in the Old Testament.
Yes.
So your God's not all good.
There was a reaction to war, and there was a reaction to a specific situation, a specific time, which was canceled and abolished.
Wait, is your God all good or not? Because you just said he made bad commands.
He have one of the attributes of God is love. Another attributes of God, he's a vengeance fire. He had both attributes.
Is your God all good?
I just responded. One of God attributes, he's love. Another attributes of God.
I'm asking you if God is all good.
Amen. I just responded, brother. I give you.
You didn't answer the question. Is your God all good?
Yes, sir.
So then how can he give bad commands if he's all good?
Let me give an example. In the Old Testament, it says if a man sleep with a man, they both commit an abomination, they both need to be put to death. Let's talk about homosexuality, right?
Yeah, Leviticus 20:13.
Yes, sir. In the New Testament, Jesus died for these people.
You're just preaching. You're preaching now. Listen.
Okay.
If God is all good, go ahead, Joyful. Go ahead.
All right, so you only believe in the laws that Jesus reiterated that people should be following, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in Mark 7, Jesus says this. He says to the Pharisees, Isaiah was right when he prophesied about you hypocrites. As it is written, these people honor me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. They worship me in vain. Their teachings are merely human rules. You have let go of the commands of God and are holding to human tradition. And he continued, you have a fine way of setting aside the commands of God in order to observe your own traditions. For Moses said, honor your father and mother, and anyone who curses their father and mother must be put to unalivement. But you say, if anyone declares that what might have been used to help their father and mother is Corban, then you no longer let them do anything for their father and mother. Thus you nullify the word of God. So he says, Jesus says that they should be following, that if anyone curses their father and mother, they should be put to unalivement. Do you think that that is a good law?
Okay, I just find it. That was a law in the Old Testament.
No,
Jesus said that.
I just read you Jesus' words. Jesus said they should be unaliving children who curse their father and mother. Is that a good law or a bad law?
Yes, the law brings death.
Is it good or bad? Do you agree with Jesus there when he says that you should put to death the children who were cursing their parents?
According to the Old Testament, yes, the law brings death. But
Okay, first of all, can you guys say unalive? And second of all,
for sure.
this
Okay, sorry.
is the New Testament.
Yeah, it's not the Old
Jesus,
Testament.
this is the New Testament. Jesus is not in the Old Testament. Jesus is in the New Testament, saying to put your children to unalivement by stoning them. Now, be honest with the text. Do you think that that is good?
no,
Oh, great. So you disagree with Jesus, even though he's this all good, loving, hippie guy. Imagine disagreeing with your savior.
Jesus, you're better than your God, Jesus. Congratulations. He did actually answer a question.
I know I had to bring out Dark Crystal.
Crystal got it out of him. Crystal got it out of him.
I know I had to bring out Dark Crystal.
Crystal got it out of him. Crystal got it out of him.
Yeah, now he's got a bad echo. You're going to have to swipe out of the app and come back, Jesus.
Go check your WhatsApp or your messages. Don't leave the thing. Just swipe out. Let us see a teacup for a minute. Or go Google something and then come right back.
I'm feeling good today. I wore my Jeremy Baramy shirt.
Thank you, Sheena.
Jeremy.
Have you ever watched The Good Place?
Baramy shirt.
Thank you, Sheena. Jesus, are you listening to us at all? We need you to go check your messages or go to Google, swipe to a different app, and then come back. You have a bad echo right now. Okay. They always leave because they don't listen to the instructions.
Hey, Crystal, I will let you do what you want with the other person in the guest box.
Okay, let me see what's going on. What's going on here? Okay. Oh, well, I brought them up, but they left.
Keep double tapping the screen, guys.
You guys, the guest box is open and we have skits and bits with Joyful tonight. So if you are a Christian or a believer in the Christian God, Sadak Mac, come on up and the guest box is open. Keep tapping the screen. Let's get to 25,000 likes as quickly as possible. The host has a gift goal of the paper cranes, and you can change the color of the paper crane that you send. It's a pretty cool little feature they have there. He's looking for a few more of those. We also have a subby goal. If you haven't subscribed, it's less than a cup of coffee a month. You are subscribed to Netflix, Hulu, Paramount Plus, and some weird channels nobody watches at your house. Why don't you cancel those and come subscribe to your favorite creators like Joyful, like myself, like Skits and Bits. Save yourself some money and invest in small creators. Hi, Reggie. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes? Hey, Reggie.
Oh, yeah. I'm 40 years old.
Okay, and are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God? Yeah, I can hear you. Are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God?
Okay, yeah.
Got red bars.
All right,
There's
go
a
ahead
delay.
and
There's a
talk with-
delay.
I'm a believer.
Yeah, there's a little delay.
Can you fix your Wi-Fi, Reggie, or fix your connection, cell phone connection?
Yeah, give me a second.
Cause you're like 5 seconds behind us.
now.
Hello, are you there? You there, Reggie?
Reggie, I think you're gonna have to.
I think he's driving.
Figure out something else with your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, if you're a Christian, can you pray for Reggie's Wi-Fi real quick, and maybe he can come back up with a better signal?
Crystal, what's Sadakmak? What is that?
It's so. I don't actually call myself a Christian, but I follow the teachings of Jesus, and it was made up by Mezzo. So
it's an acronym.
Big Yeah.
Oh, okay.
For all those people who come up and pretend like they're not a Christian, but they follow Jesus.
So I don't believe in Christian, or I don't believe in. What is
so
it? I don't believe in religion.
Actually call myself a Christian.
Oh yeah, I don't actually call myself a Christian, but I follow the teachings of Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
That's funny. You hear
it's
that
an idiom, guys. Crystal, you just muted Skits.
Why did I do that?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I will not be silenced.
It's because they moved my microphone to my picture, and instead of clicking myself, sometimes I click on the guest.
What is going on with the app right now?
I don't know.
It's crazy. Mezzo, can I get your age for TikTok purposes, and you can lie to me?
108.
Okay, thank you. And are you a Christian or a Sadakmak?
I guess technically I'm Sadakmak, being the founder of the religion and all. Actually, I have something else that I'm going to, share here for the last guest if I can. I'm just trying to bring it up real quick.
Here, let me put you on the big screen.
This is some new merch I got going on here. Nice. For people who need it. We're selling new Holy Wi-Fi routers, and this is.
Are the crosses adjustable? Can you point the crosses like wherever you need to point them at?
Yeah, you can tip them around and point them towards your phone and stuff like that. And this is the 4.8 GPS ultra fast 1.2 connection at 2.58, whatever that means. And it's just $7.77, which is a really great deal.
Wow. Wow.
I think $6.66 would have been a better price point, but
yeah, but this is funnier because it's I don't know.
It's the holy one.
Yeah,
it's the holy one.
But keep in mind, there's a little warning. It's not compatible with Mac PCs or Linux, so just make sure you're careful with that.
Nice, nice. Right on.
Yeah. I like how it said that your signal can be just as strong as the Holy Spirit.
So not very strong is what I'm hearing.
That's what I've been looking for. If there are any Christians in the chat, go ahead and come on up and let's talk about this.
I'm going to step back down and keep doing my dishes. You guys do your beautiful thing that you do. I love all of you so much.
Love you, Mezzo.
Love you too, Mezzo. You guys follow Mezzo, and big W in the chat for Mezzo and his holy Wi-Fi.
Somebody said it can't have any iron near it. Somebody said don't put iron near the Wi-Fi router.
Mezzo put W Mezzo in the chat. Nice.
Who W's themselves?
Mezzo does, and what he really likes to do too is he likes to, like, when he's leaving, say that he cooked you, even if you weren't like debating. So I think we all need to let him know that he's been cooked. We cooked him. Yeah,
Mezzo caused some issues because he said that Parker.
I've seen that.
That he saved Parker or something like that. Now Parker does religious and the guy literally left Mezzo's live and went straight over to Parker and was like, I heard you were a Christian. Mezzo caused me and Joel to break up. I don't know if Joel's here, but we broke up.
Aw, that's sad.
We're not best friends anymore.
Oh, because he chose Mezzo?
Yeah, I caught him saying that Mezzo was his best friend.
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Hey, Chana Spam, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
18.
Are you a what? What?
He said,
Are you a what?
18.
that was the funniest one I've heard.
That was a demon.
That was a demon. Use your man voice.
Double tap the screen, guys, if Satan is king.
You guys might hear a little background for a minute here. Hi, Parker. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yeah, I'm 34.
Are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God?
I am not. I'm actually, just a quick question. I'm a friendly, actually.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm part of Justin's streams a lot, deconstruction, and just had a quick statement. I was wondering if you could just maybe clarify what you think about it. Yeah, a lot of believers, they hold to the omni properties of God, but when you read the book, I don't know where they actually get that from, because it's all three of the omni properties are all contradictory in the book. And so I don't know. I just I thought about that the other day. I'm like, where do they actually like have ground to stand on those things? Because I don't see it.
Yeah, and there's also stories that literally show that he doesn't have omni properties. Like, he has to go down and see if Sodom actually was doing the sin that they were accused of. He said he's going to go down and look to see if the accusations are true. And then you have where...
he literally says, and then I will know.
Yep.
And then he's sorry sorry. In Genesis 6, he's sorry for creating us, which means... You didn't know that you would be sorry for creating us and that you'd have to drown us all. And then he's not all powerful. Clearly, he's not all. If he's not all knowing, then he's not all powerful, because an all powerful being would be able to have knowledge of all things.
And chariots of iron can defeat him very easily.
Yeah, in the chariots. Yeah.
He doesn't know how a woman's body works. Either that or he's just evil AF.
And don't even get me started on the all loving.
Yeah, he's definitely not all loving.
Right. Yeah. It's I mean,
the God
you don't
character
really think
of the
about
Bible
those things until someone's like challenged you on those. Like, you just kind of believe them, and that's how I was a lot of the time. It was like, oh yeah, I just believe this, but when you actually get challenged on it, it's like, you can see where the problem lies, where the battle starts there. So anyway,
it's actually good that they believe. It's good that they believe all those properties, because it really adds fuel. You can use it for like ammo.
Yeah.
But anyway, just wanted to stop in and see if you had anything to say about that. I know you guys have all your good or not good things to say, but you have a lot to say on the topics, and I appreciate you guys just challenging things that a lot of people don't tend to challenge or are afraid to challenge because it's taboo and all that. So,
well, Parker, I appreciate you, and I've seen you quite a bit around Justin's live. So
yeah, I've seen you on there.
I'm sure I will see you around some more, man.
See other deconstruction or people that have gone through, what they've gone through from different, either charismatic or I see a lot of Catholic people. It's just very interesting, and so I just want to keep learning stuff. But anyway, I'm gonna drop down, so I'll see you guys later.
W Parker, guys.
See
you later, Parker.
Have a good.
Yep. Take care.
Oh, we lost our other guest.
The guest that just came up, his bio said alpha male vibes.
Well, I guess I'm not too. I guess I'm not too upset that we lost him. Or I'll try to invite him back. See how alpha he is.
Alpha male vibes.
If he's an alpha, you'd think he'd come up and defend his god at least.
When I see bios like that,
sure.
I just think they're probably a kid.
Oh, that might be true too.
You guys, thank you so much for all the likes, the gifts, the shares. 417 shares. Way to go, you guys. You're kicking butt out there. I just have a question for chat. I want to know what the chat thinks about Doug being promoted to a rock god on Justin's live. That's what I want to know. There we go. There we go. Praise Doug. You guys, he's walking around the house now with a staff, and he's got a robe and a crown, and
that sounds like Doug.
Here, yeah.
I need a video.
Water into wine.
I need a video of Justin on his knees praising Doug.
That would be awesome. The Dougites.
Where did he get Doug from? Is that like just a little pillow that he made with like little eyes he put on the pillow or something?
No, it's a pet rock.
But it's like fluffy though. Or is it a rock? Is it a rock or is it fluffy?
I think it's a rock.
Oh, it's an actual rock.
I think it is. It might be like, I don't know. I thought it was a rock.
I thought it was like a stuff. Like I thought it was like a fluffy little.
I'm not sure.
Mike in chat says Doug has always existed. Skits. What are you talking about?
Doug has always existed.
Well, we're not gonna get any guest skits. You scared them all away.
Remember Doug Funny?
Yep.
Come on up and chat with us. I'm inviting somebody up.
Skeeter.
Let's see if they come up.
Yeah, Skeeter.
Patty Mayonnaise.
He's a Christian.
Who?
Yeah, guys, if there's any Christians in the chat and you want to come up here and talk about why the God character of the Bible is evil, come on up here.
Got somebody in the box now.
Hey Arnold was good too.
Hey Arnold.
I was a Nickelodeon kid. I didn't watch Cartoon Network. I watched Nickelodeon every day.
Yeah, Nickelodeon was good.
Yeah, we were more allowed to watch Nickelodeon.
Leon, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yes, 36.
Are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God?
I am not. No, I just wanted to come up and say that I can't believe you mentioned Doug and didn't mention pork chop.
Oh yeah, I forgot about pork chop.
True.
I just wanted to get that offended me, and the fact that no one started singing Killer Tofu also offended me. So,
sorry.
I got a quiz for you. I got a quiz. What was the name of Rocco's dog in Rocco's Modern Life?
Holy crap! Hold on, because I know that he would eat his toenail clippings. Oh my god. I know Heifer, his best friend, and then holy crap, I'm out, man. Skits, I'm out.
Somebody put it in the comments. It was Spunky.
Spunky. Yeah, for some reason I can't remember if someone has an Australian accent. I can't remember what they've said. That's like it's a deficiency of mine, and I Flight of the Conchords in one ear, out the other. I know they're from New Zealand, but it's the same accent for me because I'm racist. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. That's terrible.
You can't be racist towards wallabies. It's okay.
That's true. I just wanted to say I appreciate y'all. I watch y'all all the time. My main account got permaban for getting too many. Yeah, I got offended. Like I do deconstruction lives too, but I get angry, which I'm working on a lot. So,
I had to go through that phase too.
Yeah. I'm over the angry phase now. I'm just
gotten angry.
Well,
never.
I was just mirroring God's wrath, okay, and then they get mad at me for anyway. No, but so my secondary account is now my main account, and this is my backup because my secondary account, which is now my main account, is banned for a week for calling people dumb FUCKs, blatant, like just in their face the other day when I had, because they were being just dumb. They were.
Leon, I've seen some of your lives, and you do get a little spicy. I enjoy it, though.
No, they're fun. I enjoy it too. They're cathartic, but at the same time, like, and now I'm definitely working. Like this, I had a live stream this morning where a guest came on really hot about it was education is not indoctrination, and we should leave your ideology.
Thanks for sending out the subbies. Mike T in chat, you guys.
I said you should leave your indoctrinations out of our school systems, and I said yes, Christians, that means you. right? And someone came on and whenever I do talk about leaving your ideologies out of our school systems, people want to come and say that the LGBTQ community is trying to indoctrinate children. And so I had a lot of things to say about that, and I had a guest on that actually throughout the 45 minutes we were talking, it came to pass that we found out she was Christian, so I switched the live stream background from indoctrination is not education to the one that I normally have, which is the God of the Bible is not all good, in quotation marks. And then underneath that, it's hell cannot exist if God is everywhere. Then the next one underneath that is Jesus was an extraterrestrial if he existed as depicted in the Bible. And the one underneath that is the Bible should not be taught as fact. So I have all of these four, which none of them claim that I don't believe in God. Like, because I want to talk to Christian, I level with them. Like, I'm agnostic personally. I don't know one way or the other, but I want to have to, like, do these make you feel any kind of way, and why? Why do these statements make you feel any kind of way? And we ended up breaking some really good ground with this person today. And by the end of it, we were joking, and she straight up was like, wait, should I even? Because she's like, I'm new to the Bible. I don't even know if I should be reading it. And I was like, you can find good things and bad things in the Bible alike. I'm not telling you what to believe, but I am telling you that if the Bible is conveniently mirroring power structures that are benefiting only men in the world, you should probably ask yourself why that is. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So, like, I'm getting better. I'm getting better. So I'm just letting everybody know that if you come to my lives, I'm not going to curse you out anymore. I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to listen. So if there's any Christians here, please come and say hello. I do not bite anymore because it was nice being able to pay for my internet from TikTok gifts. So, hey.
Nice.
Right on, Leon. Well, thanks for being here, man.
No, I appreciate y'all. Hope y'all get more guests. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And Crystal, thank you. Be safe.
Have a good night. I'll bite with consent. Liz.
You don't have any gas in the box at all? Joyful, you did something that made me laugh so hard the other day. I was watching Justin's live, and I saw you in the comments, and then I saw you arguing with I am his pastor in the comments.
I like doing that, yeah. It's fun.
That made me laugh so hard. I was like, this guy, he's taking it to another level. Like, spoiler alert, if you guys don't know, Joyful is I am his pastor. I am was in there like, hey, atheists ain't got no morals, and then Joyful would be like tagging him, being like, you don't know what you're talking about. He's like arguing with himself.
Shut up, you dumbass. Stuff like that, yeah. TJ.
How you doing?
Hey, TJ, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
I'm 29.
Are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God?
So I was up until this year, as a matter of fact.
Welcome to the dark side.
I feel like the other side is in the dark side, at least in my position. But
it is. You're welcome to actually come into the truth now.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, it's weird to say, but this app has been actually pretty instrumental in my deconstruction, because prior to this app and being on a platform where people are allowed to voice their opinions and hold debates and panels and all that, I kind of stuck within my own bubble, not really hearing outside input on the whole subject of religion. So, I found this app and got on random lives and basically followed everyone in the deconstruction community, like you, Justin, Mike, Blitz, whoever else. And I don't feel the need for the religion that I have for the last 28 years.
That's awesome, TJ. Are you part of our Discord, did you say?
I don't have a Discord, but I've been thinking about getting one, just so I could be a part of the various users on Discord. I didn't even know that was a thing until this app figured, about Discord and all that. But, it's interesting, though. So so within this year, like obviously, my family and friends have noticed, like, I stopped going to church because I used to attend church whenever I was off, and I made it apparent that I was no longer religious, and I was kind of taken aback by the cold shoulder I'm now receiving from all my supposedly close friends and family, which it's unfortunate, but it's the reality of it. It's just
Fuck
something
them.
I wasn't. Yeah, I mean, it sucks too because, I'm looked at almost as a bad person now, and, I've heard certain comments made throughout the grapevine. And, my whole thing is I'm not perfect, but so I've been a paramedic for the last 8 years. That's my career. It's my profession. I've dedicated, my calling in life is to help other people, and I enjoy what I do.
That's awesome.
I appreciate it, and
it takes a lot of courage to do what you did. So I applaud you for that, because it takes a lot of
for real.
courage to say, you know what, I'm not convinced of this anymore. I don't believe in it. I'm gonna do my own thing now. And you risk, like you said, you risk losing friends, you risk losing family members, especially like church. Like when you go to church, there's people who are like your family.
Absolutely.
And you risk losing that. So that's very, very, very. A lot of people who, like, all you Christians, you don't even know how much courage it takes to walk away from that shit.
I wasn't expecting it to be a backlash like it has been, but no going back now, only looking forward. But the simple fact that I tell them, like, I'm not going to church anymore. I'm essentially leaving the faith is what I've made known to family and friends. And now I don't hear from a lot of people. Like last Thanksgiving, didn't hear anything from my family. And I'm just like, wow, it's as if I committed a crime. And it takes me aback because I could see, if I was a bad person and, that's why people shy away or not try to contact me. But like I've dedicated, my life and my profession to helping people. And I didn't know that my faith was that big of a role in how they look at me. I thought my works in this life would be, but apparently not.
Well, TJ, our Discord is in my bio. Download the Discord app, and then when you make sure you're following me, and then go to my bio and join the Deconstruction Discord. Joyful is in it. I'm in it. Skits is in it. Justin, Deconstruction, Volsey, Days, G-Spot, Thinker. So many people are in it, are in the Deconstruction. And as Tracy said, it's kind of like Olive Garden. When you're there, you're family. So join us on the Discord, and you'll have a whole new community.
Yeah, that's a great motto. I mean, it's definitely cool that you guys are pretty tight knit. Because unfortunately, like in my situation now, I don't really have a lot of friends and family that are non-religious, and you don't really realize how they're going to react. I guess everyone's different, but in my situation, it kind of sucks the reaction I got. It's almost like being ostracized because I don't feel like participating anymore. And now it's like, I don't know. It's just, I guess I'm just venting because this has been ongoing for a little bit. And it took me months to pick up on, like, okay, I'm getting the cold shoulder from everyone now. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't realize it at first, but as the months rolled on, I'm not hearing from people as much. I'm just, I don't know. It kind of sucks. But
Yeah, it does suck. And we're here for you. And a lot of us have gone through that. And so hopefully you'll make some friends through the community, and you'll have a place where you can vent anytime. Dr. Joe is in the chat. Dr. Joe is a recovery specialist, but she is always willing to listen when we're in need. We also have other people in the psychological fields, such as Dagda and Lucas, and I think even Jake is. So, like I said, make sure you join the Discord, and yeah, we'll all be there for you. We've been there. We've lost loved ones over this.
Yep.
Yeah, I appreciate it. No, go ahead, man.
I was just gonna say, yeah, man, for sure. And if you ever want to talk about anything, just DM me. I've went through a lot of that too. With I come from a rather large family, and I live in a very conservative Christian part of the U.S. So, like, I have maybe one friend that is even not conservative, let alone not Christian. So, I get it. It's hard.
Yeah, that's another thing too. I know it's not on the prompt, but I used to be very, right wing. I'm from a southern state. I grew up with that type of background, and not only did I, leave the faith, but I also kind of switched my political views and started leaning more left. So it's kind of been like a double whammy, because everyone that knew me is more of a, right-wing churchgoer. I've kind of made a flip, and I feel like part of it's been a maturing process for me, Like,
yeah, for sure.
I've gained life experience. I've been exposed to different things. I've kind of opened my mind and used critical thinking skills that I used to not use, and it's kind of gotten me where I'm at now. But like you said, coming from, a state that's very religious, very conservative, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm not really feeling this anymore. And, it's kind of looked at like taboo, like, as if you're leaving a cult, which I guess in a sense it kind of is.
Oh, what happened to Skits?
Not
happened
sure.
to Skits there. Well, TJ, I don't mean to push you out of here or anything, but Bloodatron is waiting to debate, and we have a few people in the box that are also waiting to debate. And so, but please join our Discord, and don't forget to follow Dr. Joe down there. She said hi a couple times. She is a first responder specialist, I think is what she said too.
Nice.
So she's amazing. She really is. And make sure you're following everybody on the panel, and DM any of us if you ever need to talk. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate that,
WTJ
guys.
in the chat.
I'll let you guys get back to some debates.
See you, TJ. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, man. Thanks.
Have a great night.
You too.
Okay, Bloodatron, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
I'm 26.
Are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God?
I am a Christian.
Are you ready to cook us? Are you going to cook us?
Oh, you know it.
Nice.
Okay, that's what I heard. I'm ready. Go.
I'm going to turn you into a Kentucky Fried Christian.
All right, I want y'all to give me some questions I want to answer. I want to clear up some of the misconceptions that y'all might have.
Okay, so do you think it's evil to unalive infants?
I do.
All right, so when God told his people directly to unalive infants, do you think that was a good thing?
When exactly did he say that? And can we please not cherry pick?
Yeah, 1 Samuel 15. That's not cherry picking. That's literally something your God said.
All right, let me pull it up real quick. Hold up.
And just to add some context, because I know you guys love context, the context is that the Israelites were traveling into the Amalekites' land, and the Amalekites opposed them from coming into their land, and that pissed God off for some reason, even though he's all-knowing and he knew it would happen. But God was like, I command you to go and slaughter all the Amalekites, including their babies. That's the context.
I'm still
Bringing up things that happened in the Bible, by the way, is not cherry picking, okay? So if you don't know what the words are, let's not use them, okay? Because cherry picking would be picking one little tiny thing out of the Bible, one little verse that had nothing to substantiate it and trying to use it for my side. We have entire, stories behind what we're telling you.
All right, I hear you. I'm just saying, that most of the conversations that I usually had with people, they like to pick out small verses and like to use them in order to enhance their argument, even though when you read a few verses below and a few verses below, you're able to determine that wasn't what was really going on.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah. I don't do that. So everything,
I don't do any harm or anything like that.
Everything that I bring up will have complete context behind it.
Of course. I'm sorry. I'm still pulling it up. It's kind of loose.
Okay. Well, I'll start reading it. I'll start reading it while you're pulling it up, and then you can read it once it's up. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
It says, Samuel said to Paul, "The Lord sent me to Saul. The Lord sent me to anoint you king over his people Israel. Now therefore listen to the words of the Lord. Thus says the Lord of hosts, I will punish the Amalekites for what they did in opposing the Israelites when they came up out of Egypt. Now go attack Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have. Do not spare them, but unalive both man and woman, child and infant, ox, sheep, camel, and donkey."
Bro, what do the donkeys do?
What's that?
What verses were you just reading?
1 through 3.
All right.
They were asses, Skits. Sorry.
First Samuel 16, 1 through 3.
15.
1 Samuel 15, all right. I was in 16.
Yep.
What version of the Bible are you reading also? That might make a difference.
Every single version says this. Every single version will tell you. Every single version will tell you that God told King Saul to go.
Okay, but
so I'm reading out of the NRSV updated edition.
Okay, I don't really read that one. I only read the King James version.
Oh, you're King James only?
Why? I'm going to bring this up. I'm not letting it slide. Why do you read the most outdated English version of the Bible? Why would you do that? No, it's not. The NRSV updated edition is the most closest to the
There we go. You keep saying updated. Why would you need to update the original?
Because we
update it as they learn. We update it as we find new manuscripts. We update it because we are smarter now than King James was, who had an agenda.
So do you think that they knew more about the ancient languages in 1611 than they do today?
I think so, yes, because God's word is unchanging.
Oh, then the NRSV is no different than KJV.
I think it might be because of the agenda of today.
No, God's word never changes. You just said it.
I do. Yes, I do. I did say that.
Yeah.
You know that you're just lying to yourself.
All right, but anyway,
let's go back to
anyway.
So I'm gonna read it.
What did
it?
Let me read it. The King James version.
Yep.
The correct
it says
version.
to smite the Amalek and to unalive their sucklings.
Yes,
their babies.
I do see that. Now go.
So why did your God do something evil?
Destroy all that they have and spare them not, but slay both man, woman, infant, and suckling, ox, sheep, camel, and ass. Okay.
Yep, your God did something evil because before Joyful even read this verse, you said that unaliving infants was evil.
I did say that, but it is evil, yes.
Oh, there we go. This God is evil. You agree?
But God is not evil. We base our morality off of God. God created the earth. God is the highest.
Then in your worldview, in your worldview, this was good.
Morality.
Well, then this was good.
Yes, there is.
Well, then what is good? What do you base your morality off of?
My subjective empathy of the consequences of my actions.
And where did the world originally get that from?
Well, I don't care where the world doesn't have morality.
Through evolution.
Where did the world originally get the basis for laws and morality?
We had laws before. You know we had laws before the Bible, right?
The earth doesn't have
the
morals.
The majority of the laws that are created today, even in the U.S., which was a predominantly Christian nation.
But hold on, Blood.
The laws are created because of the laws in the Bible.
The Hammurabi Law. Okay, I knew he was going to say Hammurabi Law. Yeah, you're right. It was the Hammurabi Law.
Harambe?
I'm glad you know about the Hammurabi Law.
I never mentioned the Hammurabi Law.
You should have, though, because they're older than the Bible. Please do your research.
Blood, we need you to justify this because you said unaliving infants was evil, and then now all of a sudden that even though God commanded it, now all of a sudden, well, where do you get your morality from? You know, like
I get my morality from God. And
no, I know that, but
okay.
I was like mimicking you when I said that. Like, where do you get? Because we asked you, like, we showed you in the Bible, like this is where God commands that infants be unalived. You said that was evil. And instead of justifying it or like addressing it, you just went, well, where do you get your morality from? Like, so
No,
address this verse.
I think it is God can do whatever he wants. I think it's the fact that as humans, you might not understand the reason why
so hold on.
God did this.
So when you say God can do whatever he wants,
yes,
you're opening a door up that, like, no matter what God does is good, right?
Yes.
So if God came down and started graping all the 5-year-olds, that would be good.
Yes, but he would never do that.
What?
But that's the thing. God would never do that.
Okay, well, so you want something. Okay, so you want something
you can't
biblical.
Just give me something that's theoretical. He would never do that.
Oh, okay. So do you think that taking women that you find attractive?
Here we are back to this again. All right, go ahead. Continue.
You said you wanted something biblical, so we're doing something biblical. Do you think
like the same 2 or 3 things?
Do you think
that's the only?
Do you think it's good to take
the Bible?
Why are you crying, Blood? You're
down.
just crying.
Relax, Blood. Relax.
Let's talk. Why?
Breathe.
Do you think it's objectively moral to capture women you find attractive and force them to be your wives?
No.
All right, so is that objectively immoral?
It depends.
All right, so you don't believe in objective morals?
I do. I believe that our morality is based off of God.
Okay, so is it objectively moral to capture women and force them to be your wives?
Our morals, God can do whatever he wants.
Answer the question.
What was the question?
He won't.
Listen to the question and answer it.
Okay, go ahead.
Is it objectively moral or is it objectively immoral to capture women and force them to be your bride?
For us?
Yes.
Yes. If God has told us to, then it's fine.
Okay, then it's not objectively immoral.
Excuse me?
Do you not know what objectively moral means?
Explain it to me, since I, quote, don't know what it means.
Okay, so objectively moral would mean without any human mind involved, it would still be wrong no matter what. Would be something that is objectively immoral. Something that is objectively moral would never change and is always good no matter anybody's state of mind.
No. I think, so you asked if doing that to people's wives is objectively moral, meaning...
No, that's not what he asked you. He didn't ask you if it was okay to capture somebody's wives. He asked
if it was objectively moral.
Is it objectively good to capture a woman in war and make her your wife? Force her to be your wife.
That's what I just said. Why'd you say it? I didn't say that when I asked what I just said.
You said their wives.
You said it. You
didn't say a woman.
Right, there we go. That's my bad. Small little word.
Is it objectively good?
Right. It makes listen, Bloodtron, listen for a minute. You're gonna stop talking for a second. Listen, words matter, and if you say something wrong, we're gonna make sure we understand what you say so that your point that you're trying to make comes across in the best possible light, okay? So we're not just picking on your words, we just wanna make sure we understand you completely, okay?
No, of course, that's my bad.
Okay, so is it objectively good to capture a woman in war and make her your wife, force her to be your wife?
No.
Okay, but your God says you're allowed to do that. The God says to the Israelites that they're allowed to do that.
Exactly, and I want to.
So if everything God says is
speaking, please, can I finish my statement?
But you're contradicting yourself here.
But can I finish my statement so I can show how I'm not contradicting my statement?
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. So, objectively moral means that it is always going to be correct, right?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yep. Independent of mind.
Yeah. It was correct at that time for those people to do it.
That's not objective.
Correct for us now.
That's not objective.
If it's objective means it's objective means it's always listen.
It wasn't.
Blood. Listen.
So morals are subjective.
So what do you mean by they're subjective?
They are subjective to time and whose mind, and that's God's
everybody's
mind.
It's personal preferences.
Exactly, it is. It's not personal preferences, but if God...
This guy does not... Dude, listen for a second.
This is the guy that was going to cook us skits.
You said that God's morality is objective, that everything that God says is good, right?
Yes.
God said to the Israelites that they're allowed to capture women and force them to be their brides. Is that good?
At that time for them, yes.
Then it's not objective, because objective means always good, no matter what.
God has laws for his people depending at the time. It's
Objective God.
There is a difference between doctrine and law. Doctrine never changes, but law does change. So if there is a difference between doctrine and law. God's doctrine never changes, but God's law
where
can
in the
change.
Bible does it say God's doctrine never changes, but his law does?
Even I have.
All right. Can I ask you a question? Can you be saved by the law according to God's old doctrine?
Can I be saved by the law according to God's old doctrine?
Yep.
Doctrine never changes, so yes. We can't be saved by I don't know what you mean by laws, but
by following the law, can you be righteous?
Yes, you are righteous by following the law. But
okay, so you can go to so you don't need Jesus to go to heaven.
You do need Jesus. The only way you can be saved, you can be righteous by following the law. But the only way.
All right, so righteous people will burn in hell without Jesus.
Yes, that's the whole purpose of the gospel. That is, but the thing is,
not every righteous person goes to heaven.
Yeah, every righteous person goes to heaven because.
So if every righteous person goes to heaven,
you're not letting me finish. There's a second part to it. We all need to be able to repent and take upon the atonement of Jesus Christ. By taking upon the atonement of Jesus Christ in our lives, that is how we were saved. We can be righteous by following the laws and the commandments, but in order to be saved...
So God can see somebody as righteous and throw them in hell because they did not... or because Jesus was not yet crucified?
No, but they will be saved. That's the thing. The atonement is for everyone who had lived and will ever live. It is for everyone.
Will you answer my question? So if they are righteous in the sight of God, will they still go to hell?
No.
Okay, so the Bible says that Elizabeth and Zechariah were righteous in the sight of God because they observed the law. Okay. This is before Jesus was born. So if they were righteous in the sight of God, that means they would be going to heaven regardless of Jesus dying.
Yes, because it protects the atonement protects people who were born before Jesus is coming and before he died on that cross, before the atonement. Because so God
hold
knows
on.
Everybody. Okay,
hold on.
Continue.
So if they are righteous in the sight of God, and you said if they are righteous in the sight of the God, they would go to heaven, then Jesus is not needed to go to heaven.
I said the atonement. You need the atonement. The atonement.
No, that's not what happened. It says so God can see somebody as righteous, and they would still go to hell. Apart from Jesus.
I said, it is before Jesus came to the earth. If God knew,
can you just answer my question? Would somebody go to hell?
Are there righteous people burning in hell right now?
What do you mean by righteous people burning in hell right now?
People that God deems righteous.
People that God deem righteous are people who would follow the atonement and take upon the atonement of Jesus Christ in their lives. That is a part of being righteous. Righteousness is
what does it mean to take upon the atonement? I don't even know what that means. I don't think you're using those words right.
So you haven't read the Bible?
Yes, I have. Show me in the Bible where it says take on Jesus's atonement.
I got you. Hold on.
I think that you're using that word wrong.
Yeah, he doesn't know what objective morals are.
I want to get back to this, like the female captives that you said was bad, but then all of a sudden, God thinks it's morally permissible.
Yeah, Blood thinks that if God tells you to grape people, then you should grape people.
He said if God came down and decided to grape 5-year-olds, that would be okay, even though he wouldn't do it, but it would be okay if he did.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you say God can do whatever he wants and that everything God does is good, like you mean literally anything?
Yes.
Like literally anything.
The thing is, God wouldn't do the gruesome things that you think that he would do. God wouldn't come down to earth and come grape a whole bunch of fabric.
What if God, he did a 12-year-old?
What if God?
When did he do that to a 12-year-old?
Mary?
Mary
he never had intercourse with Mary. Where in the scripture
he intercourse with Mary? He impregnated her, right?
God has the power to do whatever he wants.
What if God
say that he could not have put Jesus?
He impregnated a 12-year-old. Do you think that that's grape, or do you think you can impregnate a 12-year-old and that's fine?
I think before the world started, Mary knew her role and what she was going to do. And Mary was fine with that before the world started.
A 12-year-old was fine with it.
Yep.
Yes.
A 12-year-old consented, so Blood thinks 12-year-old can consent now.
And y'all are really just twisting my words when
this is your theology.
No,
this
literally,
is your,
we're not. Literally, they're
this
just
is your belief
repeating
system.
what you're saying.
Yes, I am.
But by the way, just to let you know, Bloodotron, Leviticus 16 says the Day of Atonement ritual is permanent and forever. So, according to Leviticus 16, Jesus not necessary. Just saying.
What do you mean by according to Leviticus 16, Jesus is not necessary?
The blood of the atonement of the sacrifice is all that was needed.
Exactly.
And
so
its
the atonement
ritual
was
is
necessary.
permanent. It's permanent and forever.
Okay, so you're saying that the atonement was necessary, which means Jesus was necessary.
No.
Not that
the
one.
sacrifice of a spotless animals such as lambs, goats.
But Jesus came to fulfill that role. That was his whole point. Jesus, you guys keep using that words, Matthew 5, whatever. That I'm not here to change the law, but to fulfill it. That was Jesus fulfilling the law. Jesus dying on the cross.
How do you fulfill a law?
Fulfilling that law.
What does it mean to fulfill a law?
To fulfill, in this sense, to fulfill a law was Jesus coming down to earth, dying for us, and
please say unaliving. Please use TikTok safe words. Please.
That's my bad. I'm really sorry.
What does it mean to fulfill a law?
In this sense, fulfilling a law means Jesus coming down to earth and unaliving himself. Will not.
Like if the law is like in Deuteronomy 13, the law is to stone your children to death, unalivement, if you find out they're worshiping other gods. How do you fulfill that law? How do you fulfill it?
What do you mean? How do you fulfill that law?
Because you said he fulfilled the law. So one of those laws is to stone your children if you find out. But how do you fulfill that law? How do you
have some good background context on here?
How do you fulfill the law? The law is if you find out your children are worshiping other gods, that you must stone them. How do you fulfill that law?
All right, so I think the reason why we had that law in the first place was
how do you fulfill it?
Why don't you answer the question?
How do you fulfill it?
Can I speak?
No, I'm going to mute you. Nope. I'm muting you for a minute. Listen,
how do you fulfill the law?
asks really basic questions, okay? He speaks in plain English, and he uses very concise words with adjectives, maybe a verb and a noun, okay? And he says to you, how do you fulfill the law? And you say, and then we have in another Bible verse. No, how do you fulfill a law? Answer that question, please.
He's in the comments crying right now because you muted him.
Well, we can drop you if you'd like. There's somebody in the box waiting.
Okay, you said Jesus came to fulfill the laws.
Yes.
One of those laws is in Deuteronomy 13, where God commands you to stone your children if you find out that they're worshiping other gods. Okay. How do you fulfill that law?
The law that Jesus was referring to when he said that he was fulfilling was the same law that you were talking about. Where
how do you fulfill it? How do you fulfill the law? How do you fulfill that law?
I'm explaining to you. Jesus fulfilled the law.
No. How do you fulfill a law? Bloodotron, if I tell you the law says do not speed, do not go over 55, how do you fulfill that law?
I go under 55.
There you go. So
Thank
you're saying Jesus stoned children if they found out they were worshiping other gods?
No.
But you said Jesus fulfilled the law.
Yes, I am saying Jesus fulfilled the law. The law that was...
He's spiraling out right now. He's spiraling out right now. I don't think when they say Jesus fulfilled, they don't actually know what that means. They don't know what is.
Yeah, exactly. So I think we do know exactly what it means, and I think you guys are taking it out of context. But
no.
Well, here's the context. Okay, the context is that God says, listen, if you find out that your children, your wife, your brother, or even your closest friend are worshiping other gods, you must show them no pity, and you must stone them to unalivement. That's what God wants you to do if you find out that they're worshiping other gods. That's a law. And you're saying Jesus fulfilled the laws. And one of those laws is to stone your family or whoever you find out is worshiping other gods. So how do you fulfill that law?
All right. Jesus said, do not think that I have come to abolish the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them.
How do you fulfill it?
Or can I finish speaking?
How do you fulfill it?
I tell you that heaven and no, can I have a whole thing?
Yeah,
tell me how you fulfill it. How do you fulfill it?
Can you calm down and wait a little while? Be patient.
Yeah, but do you realize?
I know what the passage says. I know what Jesus is saying. But how do you fulfill the law?
Okay, can you calm down and let me read so I can interpret the scripture?
It says, "Do not think I have come to abolish the law. I have not come to abolish it. I have come to fulfill it. For truly I tell you, until heaven and the earth pass away, not one letter, not one stroke of the letter will pass from the law until all is accomplished. Therefore, whoever breaks one of the least of these commandments and teaches others to do the same will be called the least in the kingdom of heaven." I know what it says. How do you fulfill the law?
All right, thank you for reading that. Thank you very much.
How do you fulfill it?
Bert wants to come up and be his attorney and help him out here a little bit.
The law?
How did Jesus fulfill that law?
Okay, Jesus' purpose was to establish the word, to embody it, and to fully accomplish.
He's just not going to answer it. He's just not going to answer the question.
As your attorney, I'd advise you
and to fully establish all that was.
Hey, listen, Bert is a rabbi, and he's here to be your attorney. So go ahead, Bert. What you got to say?
I really want to help you out here. Okay, the whole idea of
Bert's an attorney.
The law, yeah, the rabbis were the original.
If you've been hurt, call Bert.
The rabbis were like the original attorneys, if you think about it. I mean, we're the ones that are interpreting the law and adjudicating and so on and so forth. Yeah. So, So you have to understand there's an idiom that's being used here, which is to fulfill. Now, if you were to translate the Greek, my guess is, I don't know, I'm not fluent in Greek, I'm fluent in Hebrew. If you were to take the Hebrew from the Septuagint and look at what the word is for to keep, lishmor, in the Hebrew Bible, my guess is it's the same verb that's being used in the Christian Bible. And the reason is to keep or fulfill the law is the obligation of the mitzvot, of the commandments. That's the underlying thing. The other issue is that I don't think you understood what they were asking you with the Day of Atonement piece. The idea is that a singular sacrifice can be made to atone on behalf of or interceded by the high priest for all of Israel. That is the metaphor that is being used in the Christian Bible. It is called midrash. It is essentially superimposing the Christian worldview on the Hebrew Bible to give credibility and framework to what they're talking about. So when Jesus is talking about fulfilling the law, what he's talking about is keeping the law or guarding the law or maintaining his obligation to the law. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
You can unmute now. Yeah.
Great. So if Jesus, like all the other Jews at the time, was talking about keeping the law and what it means to keep the law. Now, you could make the argument that I believe Paul makes, the difference between the letter of the law and the spirit of the law. You can make that argument. The issue is that argument ends up being supersessionist and ultimately undermining the basis for the Hebrew Bible. But that's not my business. That's up to you. I'm just here as your attorney to try and help you understand the field that you're kind of walking through at the moment. Any questions, Blood? Anything that I can help you with further?
Not at this current moment in time. Thank you very much.
So your attorney is working pro bono, and he just told you that fulfill means to carry out, achieve, accomplish, right? So how do you fulfill that law of Deuteronomy 13?
He said keeping and guarding, not fulfilling / accomplishing. But
Hey, how do you fulfill it?
Well, Jesus, his whole purpose was to fulfill the law, correct? That's what you guys.
Yeah. How do you do that?
Okay, so by fulfilling the law was
no. How did he fulfill it?
I'm about him teaching people the law and also living it himself. That's how he fulfilled it. And in the end,
wait, did you just say Jesus lived that law?
He taught and he kept the law. Yes.
So Jesus lived. So Jesus lived the law of Deuteronomy 13:6.
The word doesn't specifically say Deuteronomy 13:6. I think you guys are getting it wrong. There are laws that are meant.
Jesus is referring to the Old Testament laws.
Can I finish speaking?
Blood, I think let me just intercede for you one more time, Blood. I just want to help you out one more time.
You're my lawyer.
Okay.
You're my lawyer.
Yeah, I'm just here to help you. Okay. So here's the issue. This is your argument. Okay. Your argument should be that Jesus came. Your argument should be. This is so. Yeah, sustained. Okay, so your argument should be that Jesus came to fulfill the prophecies of to fulfill the words of the prophets, which is to create a society that is equitable, just, and one where stoning is no longer necessary because people are keeping the law. That should be your argument. And the question is, did Jesus go about doing that? Did Jesus actually go about creating a world that is more equitable? That in other words, that the law is already being kept and guarded because people are behaving in a way that is reflective of a world that is keeping and guarding the law. Do you understand what I'm asking?
I have to step away for 1 second.
Some of those,
Joyful.
He's Googling those words that were a little bit longer than 4 and 5 letters right now, Bert.
Sorry, I'm sorry. I tend to I use syllables.
Hey, you guys. Okay, go ahead, Blood. You can respond.
Oh wait, no, you can continue. I'm just going to scripture right now that goes hand in hand with my lawyer just told me.
Okay, you look that up real quick, and I'll just say something real quick. Y'all, just in case you don't know, we have amazing merch in our merch store right now, and the link is in my bio. I'm telling you this because we have dropped the Kraken Crew mug. We have a Joel Reed's Bible mug. We have a Thinker mug. The Thinker mug's pretty cool, not gonna lie. Dazed Demons. And we're dropping more, dropping daily. We got some coming from me and Joyful. We got some from Hanji. Just a whole bunch, all the creators, they're all getting in on it. And all the proceeds are going to go to help people right here in our deconstruction community, which is often the LGBTQIA, because once their family finds out that they are not Christian and that they are in the LGBTQIA, they often are put out. And so we want to help them. So you can help us by looking at the merch shop. And remember, Christmas is coming. The holidays are coming. So think about that. Okay?
And also, Carrie, to address what you said, it is on YouTube. The whole recording of this live is on my YouTube channel. And it is actually live right now over on YouTube as well. Whenever I'm live here.
The link is in Joyful's bio.
Yep. The link is in my bio for my YouTube. And Crystal will be doing her lives over that are on TikTok, also on YouTube. So these are saved forever for anybody that wants to watch them later. Or if you remember a part and you want to screen record it, you can just go over to my YouTube and it will be over there saved.
Or if you were a guest on this live and you want to go back and see where you were wrong and where we were right, you can go back and watch that too.
All right, so I just want to thank my lawyer Bert for inspiring me to remember the scripture right now. And if we turn over to Galatians 3 and we go to verse 11, we see that it says, "But that no man is justified by the law in the sight of God. It is evidence, for just they shall live by faith." And
okay.
Can I finish? Can I finish real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. And then I'm going to read you a verse and you're going to tell me which one's right.
Yeah, of course. And then if we go to verse 13, we see that Christ has redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us. For it is written, "Cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree." So here we're seeing that Christ has redeemed us from that curse of the law. Like Bert was saying, it was the law that was put in place, and Christ came to fulfill the law.
You might be misconstruing what I said a little bit, Blood.
All right, continue.
The idea is that and this is exactly what I was trying to tell you. The idea is that the whole purpose of Jesus is to inspire a society that lives in a way that is built on equity and justice. But the issue is what you have to argue, and I guess this is where I kind of get off as your lawyer, like where I no longer become your lawyer, which is you have to argue that Jesus has fulfilled that obligation of creating a society that is just and equitable. And I think like that's where that is where you convince the world that Jesus is the Messiah. Because as far as I see, the mountains are still high and the valleys are still low.
Yeah, so Blood, so you said that nobody is justified by the law, correct? That's what Galatians says?
That is what Galatians says.
Okay, good. So was Luke wrong when he said his wife Elizabeth was also a descendant of Aaron? Both of them were righteous in the sight of God because they observed all the Lord's commands and decrees.
Excuse me?
Yeah, when Luke says in Luke chapter 1, both Elizabeth and Zechariah were righteous in the sight of God because they observed all the Lord's commands and decrees.
Yes.
Who is right, Luke or Paul?
Both.
Can you find righteousness through the law according to Galatians?
Yes, we can.
What?
According to Galatians,
yes.
You can find righteousness through the law.
Read Galatians again, Blood. I thought you said
I
can't.
got you. Here it says that Christ has redeemed us from the law. So, yes.
Okay.
So we still need to
hold on.
Find righteousness
Bert,
through the law.
your client is contradicting himself here.
There's a difference between doctrine and law. Like I said,
I rescind my.
I want to know where I asked him this
If you continue to
I
contradict
asked him-
yourself, Bert can no longer represent you.
I asked him this earlier, and I'm not playing games, y'all. Where in the Bible does it say there's a difference between doctrine and law? Because doctrine comes from your churches, not from God. Law comes from God.
Yeah, she did say
Commands come from God. No doctrine comes from God. And unless you can show me in the Bible that doctrine comes from God, then stop saying it because it's not true.
All right, that's my bad then. Let me continue reading down a little bit. I can definitely find where it says that the law is continued even in Galatians.
You also have to understand, Blood.
Continue.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, Blood. What you have to understand is that Galatians is who wrote Galatians again?
Paul.
And Paul is coming from what perspective?
He's coming from the perspective as a Roman who was converted after
exactly.
Yes.
So the context of Paul is somebody who never met Jesus, didn't actually know what the historical context of Judaism was, and is responding to a lot of different things, not the least of which is trying to figure out how to rectify the fact that he is of the empire that is creating the untenable situation for the Jews living in Judea at the time, and also trying to square all the circles that you are currently trying to square, right? So the question, and Crystal asks this all the time, do you follow Paul or do you follow Jesus?
I follow Jesus, and Paul was a disciple of Jesus. Paul taught the teachings of Jesus. Paul was converted to Christianity. Was Paul a disciple
of Jesus?
Yes, he was. Paul was converted to Christianity when an angel came into him when he was going to go and harass the Christians. And an angel came into him and he changed his ways. He turned to Christ. And because he is a disciple of Christ. And his teachings he teaches the doctrine of Jesus. He doesn't teach anything different. He never has contradicted the teachings of Jesus, and he is a disciple. I think we have to see that Christ's revelations continue and continue. Even after Christ died, his revelations don't stop there. They continue. And he brings people, I think when verse Amos, I forgot which one it was, but it says that God reveals his teachings through prophets. And Paul he was a disciple. God reveals his teachings through people like him who continue on the teachings. But
Okay, Blood, I want to read you a verse out of Galatians 4, okay?
Go ahead.
All right, it says, "For if a law had been given that could impart life, then righteousness could come, or would have certainly come by the law." So is this saying righteousness does not come by the law?
I think a different verse will help clear this up. But all right,
so it says, "For if a law had been given that could impart life, then righteousness would certainly have come by the law." So does righteousness come by the law according to Paul?
I can answer this question if you let me read this verse real quickly.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Galatians 3, verses 23 and 24 say, "But before faith came, we were kept under the law, shut up into the faith, which we should afterwards be revealed. Wherefore the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ, that we may be justified by faith." So yes, before Christ came, before Christ's atonement, the law was the way to be saved. But as we can see here in Galatians 3:23 to 24, we're seeing that the law was the teacher to bring us to Christ. The law was the precursor to Christ.
All right, so when he said right before that righteousness would certainly have come from the law if it could impart life, was he saying that righteousness does come from the law and the law does impart life?
He's saying that before there was Christ, before there was the atonement, the law did create righteousness, and after that, because the law was the precursor to Christ. So after Christ, when we repent under the atonement, that is how we are be able to be saved. That's how we get our salvation.
Okay. I don't understand how you interpret this to say you can get righteousness from the law. That's quite impressive, the hoops you jump through.
You are righteous through the law. By following the law, you are righteous, right?
That's not what it says. It says if the law had been given that could impart life, then righteousness would certainly have come by the law.
And I feel like
may
that
I help
verse
my
is saying,
client for a moment?
Yeah, if you could help him out, that would be amazing.
Yeah, okay. Blood, I think what you're trying to say is that just because you follow the law doesn't make you not a jerk. Okay? Is that what you're trying to say, Blood?
In a sense, but there's more to it than that.
Yeah, well, I guess what I'm saying is you can be a horrible human being and still follow the law.
If you follow God's law, you are a horrible human being.
You cannot follow God's law and be a horrible human being.
If you follow God's laws, you are a jerk.
How so?
Because God says you should stone your children if you find out they're worshiping other gods. God says that non-heteros should be put to death, unalivement. If you follow those laws, you are a jerk.
The law was the schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ. Christ fulfilled the law. Therefore, the law.
How do you fulfill Leviticus 20:13? How do you fulfill it?
The law was the schoolmaster to bring us to Christ. That's the whole thing.
How did Jesus fulfill Leviticus 20:13?
What does Leviticus 20:13 say?
If a man lies with a man, as one does with a woman, both have done what is detestable. They should be put to unalivement.
How does the law fulfill that? How does Jesus?
No, how do you fulfill that? How did Jesus fulfill that law? Yeah.
Like I said, he taught the law and he kept the law. Before.
So Jesus unalived non-heteros.
No, he did not.
Well, then how did he keep? Then how did he keep that law?
That he unalived heteros.
I'm sorry, I have to.
You said Jesus kept that law.
Bert has to say something.
See ya, Bert. Thanks for being there.
This case is underwater.
Your lawyer's name is not Brett. It's Bert.
I said Bert.
Take care now. Bye bye then.
Something like you said, Brett.
He gave up on you, Blood.
Me, Bert, and Crystal all had exactly 261 coins. That's crazy. Is that a glitch? Or
That's
is that
weird.
Real? So, Blood, if Jesus fulfilled the laws, how did he fulfill Leviticus 20:13?
Oh, wow, I actually got in. Hold on. First of all, the law he's talking about is the Ten Commandments. That is not.
That's what I was trying to say. People.
So show me where Jesus is only talking about the Ten Commandments.
Okay, wait. First of all, don't talk before you're introduced. Don't ever do that. Don't come up to any live and ever do that. Okay?
Much love, Justin. Thank you.
So now do you want to tell me your age for TikTok purposes?
W. Justin.
Oh, Rabbi got us all to 261. Okay, Sailor N, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
15.
Oh.
See, that's why you don't talk when you come up on lives.
Get that demon out of here.
I thought he said he was going to come help you, Blood, but he was a child.
I've heard that argument. That argument was like, well, Jesus was only talking about the Ten Commandments, but it doesn't say that. It doesn't say that Jesus.
It doesn't, but you can definitely imply it.
Well, then how come you haven't? How come this whole time you have not said that? You're only saying that now.
That in the comments. Before.
No, you did not. The whole time you were not saying that.
Ask what's her name?
Okay, listen.
Hey, Matthew,
you can't imply anything because it says do not add to the word. No, you can't. And Jesus never talks about the Ten Commandments. Ever.
And Blood, was divorce in the Ten Commandments?
Excuse me?
It was divorce in the Ten Commandments?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so why right after this does Jesus go to talk about the law of divorce and explain it?
Where is that?
It's right after, in Matthew 5, right after he says the thing about fulfilling the law. Mm-hmm. He goes to murder, adultery, verse divorce, oaths.
Matthew 5:31.
Love your enemies. All these are not part of the Ten Commandments.
Yeah, right after the it says the law, like the old law and the prophets. It talks about concerning anger, adultery, concerning divorce, concerning oaths, retaliation, love for enemies.
Yeah, there's only two of these.
Talk whenever you want. Average
are in the Ten Commandments at all.
So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little lost on where our argument is at the moment.
Yes.
Yeah,
I'm a little lost too because first it was we didn't need the law, and now we do need the law. Average, and I'm just so confused.
Yeah, and he won't tell me how you fulfill a law.
I never said that we needed the law. I said that Christ fulfilled the law through his death on the atonement. That was my one stance. And then I pulled up Galatians 3:24, which stated that the law was our schoolmaster to bring us unto Christ.
But you won't tell me how you fulfill a law.
So, Blood, I think that what Bert said was very, very wise. I think that it's true that Jesus fulfilled the law in the sense of keeping the principles of the law. And yeah, so what I'm saying is I think Bert was very good, and I think you should take what he's saying. Not exactly like you should just follow to follow, but I think that what he was saying was very was just very wise what he was saying, and then maybe run with that as your basis of your argument.
So run with what Bert was saying, which was that the hope per God, Jesus fulfilling the law was creating a world where the law didn't need to exist, but he said that hadn't happened yet because there are still highs and lows. Is that what
he said? Do you think the world is more equitable now? If it is, then Jesus fulfilled what he was sent here to do. But then you're going to have the problem. Thank you, Benny. Because I'm going to tell you the world is not more equitable.
Yes, and that's why I don't necessarily agree with what he said. That is not how Jesus fulfilled the law.
Just so you know, Bert is a Jewish rabbi, so he doesn't believe in Jesus. So that could be a problem with him trying to help you argue.
That's why I didn't. I appreciate everything that he said, but that's why
everything he said about the Old Testament, spot on. But once you get to the New Testament, it's just not his thing. It's not as much his thing. He knows where we're going to argue back. He knows what we're going to say back already.
I don't think
big win for. Oh, hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Is he
One
back?
second.
Bert the lawyer back?
Benny, was that gift for a specific reason?
W. Benny.
That rock's back.
Benny just loves you. He's just showing love.
Well, maybe, but I just want to make sure. Okay. I just want to make sure, Benny. I didn't want... Yep. I wanted to honor my thing.
Benny wants you to
even though it wasn't a duck.
Benny's like, Crystal.
Get rid of Crystal. All right.
So I don't think Bert was wrong in anything that he said. I think as he was saying it, I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think that is the Christian's job is to bring about the change that Jesus wanted to see in the world.
Yes, but if you go off of what Crystal was saying, then Jesus had fulfilled the law. So we, as Christians, we're not Jesus's role. We're not in Jesus' place to fulfill the law. Jesus has already fulfilled the law. So what you're saying is that it is Christians' job to help Jesus on with fulfilling the law. Is that what you're saying? Because Jesus had already fulfilled the law when he died on that cross. You're saying that it's Christians' job. I'm talking to Average right now. So is it us as a Christian's
Skits,
job?
what are you doing? Trying to be a part of this show, just being the host tonight and all. What do you think you're doing?
I just want him to tell me how he fulfills the law.
Blood, you've been a good sport. We're gonna move on to Average now, but
By the way, y'all have a great night.
Oh, so he was lying the whole time about his age anyway.
That's all right.
It makes a lot more sense why he was so ignorant.
Now he's got to go repent for that. Man, if you die right now, dude, you could go to hell because you lied up here. That's not good. Don't do that, man. Hey, Average, how are you tonight?
I'm doing pretty well. My students are driving me a little crazy in class, but I'm surviving.
You guys gonna talk, or do you guys need me to do a song and dance?
Sorry.
No, I was waiting on Average. Average has been here before, so I was going to let him start with whatever he wanted to bring up.
Okay.
So I'm just going to teach y'all something. Dead air is not good, okay?
Right.
Never let there be dead air.
Yeah, apparently he lied about his age. He said when he was leaving he was only 15. So, that's cool.
Might be lying about that too.
Anyway. Sorry. I thought you were doing something in the chat, so I didn't want to interrupt that. I was thinking maybe you had an argument or something you would like to do.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, you've heard a lot. Skits, you go ahead and talk to Average. I don't know if you've talked to him before. Me and him have had many conversations, so he would already know a lot of my argumentation.
I probably have the same arguments. My position is that the God character of the Bible is evil, based on the behavior of the God character in the Bible.
Yes, and is it like from the same arguments that Joyful comes from with the stuff in the
probably?
Probably.
Probably a lot of the Old Testament stuff. Yep. Like supporting slavery. Like commanding that you unalive non-heteros, commanding that you unalive your children if you find out they're worshiping other gods, condoning slavery. All the the mainstream Old Testament arguments.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to think of one of these points that I haven't argued about already, because every argument I've made about each one of those points, I haven't changed. I don't want to repeat myself.
Can you justify Leviticus 20:13?
Which one?
To unalive non-heteros. A command from God.
Yeah. Sorry, that wasn't me saying I can justify it. So I think.
Thank you. I'm just kidding.
So I'm thinking that between what I can say is justifiable and between what God says is justifiable, because whatever is sinful should be destroyed. That's what that's God's whole thing.
But why is two consenting adults who love one another, why is that sinful?
Well, God made man and woman to be together, not man and woman to be together.
So it's only wrong because the Bible says so.
Well, for one, I believe that the Bible is God-breathed. Thus, instead of saying I think that because the Bible says it, I would say it's because God says it.
Yeah, so it's only wrong to you because the Bible says so.
Yes.
But you realize that the Bible was written by a bunch of ancient, barbaric Middle Easterners who didn't know where the sun goes at night, had no understanding of science, no understanding of biology. Like, that's where you get your morals from?
I wouldn't say barbaric.
It's not barbaric to unalive non-heteros?
I mean, I think the term barbaric is a very specific term that comes from the Romans. But I think that at any given point in history, the humans themselves were full of sin. Because, again, the Bible, yes, although written by, like physically written by human beings, again, was completely God-breathed.
So the only justification you have is that it's wrong because this dusty old book says so.
Oh, I think the book is very alive. Not literally, but... You know.
I don't understand.
Where in the Bible is there a representation of a loving, non-hetero couple?
The loving non-hetero.
Yeah, where it's about a loving act, where it's about them being a couple and loving each other.
So I think that is shown between Adam and Eve before the fall. Because
I said a non-hetero couple.
Oh, non-hetero couple. Sorry. I'm sorry, repeat the question one more time.
Where in the Bible is there a representation of a loving, non-hetero couple where it's about the couple and their love for each other and not an act?
I'm not sure. Is there a place?
No, there's not. Unless you believe that David and Jonathan loved each other, which is just speculation at this point. And my point is that ancient goat herders thought that an act was vile. They never even talked to you about non-hetero loving couples because all they cared about was their own selfish, greedy needs. And that is what that whole book is based on. But you would prefer to believe ancient goat herders than your own two eyes when you see loving non-hetero couples who are not hurting anyone.
Damn.
I'm not saying they are hurting anyone. That's...
No, you're not. I'm saying you would rather believe that it is not right to do that because you'd rather believe ancient goat herders than your own eyes.
Well, I think that believing in something just because I see it with my own eyes is a fallacy.
I think believing in ancient goat herders is a big fallacy.
What fallacy is it? What fallacy is it to believe something that you see with your eyes?
Well, I think that... sorry, I want to word this so I don't...
Like, which fallacy is it?
That should be dishonest. Well, I'm going to define the fallacy more so than say exactly which fallacy it is.
So you're just making fallacies up?
No. I think...
Which one is it?
Basing something... Okay, so you know the Rashomon effect?
No.
So in the movie Rashomon, which was a movie by Akira Kurosawa, any film fans out there, in the movie, there's like multiple people who see a murder take place, but they all have a completely different take on it, even though they all saw it. So to trust in all three of them and what they believe and saw with their own eyes was true.
That's trusting witnesses, not trusting yourself. I'm very sorry that somewhere in your life, average, somebody told you that you cannot trust yourself and you believe it now. But I trust myself more than any other person on this earth because I know when I'm lying to myself. I don't even have to, have special glasses to figure that out. Somewhere along the line, either the indoctrination of this religion or your mother or your father or a teacher or somebody told you, average, you can't trust yourself. So instead, I want you to believe ancient goat herders.
Well, for me, it's like believing in something that created the universe, right? And for me, it's very humbling. And I think anyone that comes to Christ finds it very humbling.
My husband believes in a creator, but he doesn't believe in ancient goat herders who said it's okay to own slaves, who said it's okay to grape women, who said that that every woman bleeds the first time she does it, and then claimed to be God when they were making these proclamations. It's okay to believe in a creator, but let's not believe fairy tales.
Well, I mean, obviously, I don't think it's a fairy tale, but I think that, again, I've already made arguments against, or I mean, for the theology of those parts in Leviticus and Deuteronomy and in the law and so on. So I'm not going to repeat those. But what I will say is that I think something that all of us have in common, all of us together, just as a human, human race, is that, we all build our morals on some principle, right? And I don't build...
Principle is subjective.
Well, to me, the principles of God are objective.
Yeah, but you can't demonstrate that.
Well, I think that if God created the universe, right, and he already...
Go ahead and justify the if.
If? Okay. God created the universe.
Justify the if.
Justify the if. Well, I think that we could come up with many different theories on how the universe created, but I think in the end what it comes down to is faith and believing on how we think.
Faith is with believing with no evidence. So you're saying you have no evidence of the universe was created?
I have no physical evidence that God, all the way back billions of years ago, created the universe. But through my faith in Christ, I have come to believe that everything that the Bible says is true.
So, like when the Bible says that like donkeys talked and like a snake talked and like stuff like that, that's true?
Yes.
So you're like a
Coach
grown
Vic,
adult. You're a
we've
grown
met you
adult that
before.
believes that a virgin was impregnated by a ghost.
Yeah, and I've thought about that too. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm surrounded by a bunch of adults who are actually sitting around and believing these things, which you're right, we have seen in fairy tales. But the things that we see in fairy tales have, those are inspired by things that were, like the Bible.
No.
They're just fairy
No.
tales that make you feel good in your tummy.
Well, I would not say Grimm's fairy tales make me feel good.
Okay, I don't know where
Anyway,
this is going,
Coach
but
Vic, you can speak whenever you want. You've been here before, and we've met you before.
Hey, how y'all doing?
Pretty good.
I'm doing good, thank you.
Good. No, I was listening in. I was my ears perked up, when I guess the one guy was talking about, Jesus fulfilling the law. So I was trying to jump in on that piece, but sounds like y'all talking about Leviticus, the laws, and
yep.
And I guess God how could God do such a thing?
Yep.
And his morals be objective or?
Yeah, so do you believe that God's morals are objective?
Yeah, I believe they are objective.
Okay, can you point me to an objective moral of God's?
Yeah, I think the one that you all talked about already, I think the one verse, right, where God, commanded, Amorites to...
The Amalekites to unalive the children, the infants?
Yeah. And so like when I sit back and I think about that scripture, right, and I know part of the question you would ask me, right, is would I agree with, babies being killed, right? And of course, the human in me would say, the emotion in me would say, no, that's not a good thing, right? But I think when you step outside of, I think sometimes just reading the word is stepping outside of your own sense common sense, and as you apply the theme of the Old Testament, I think the appropriate word is just. I don't think it's necessarily about.
So it was justice. It was justice when God commanded that infants be unalived.
So let me rephrase, right? So God is just, meaning when I look at that situation, I compare that to things that happen in the world today.
Was it justice when God commanded infants to be unalived?
I think God was being just in that setting of, hey.
Was it justice when God commanded the infants be unalived?
I'm saying that situation. See, it's just not infants, right? Because he said, destroy all, even the cattle.
Even the infants. Even the infants.
Even the infants, right? So
was that justice? Was that justice? Was that justice when God, that your just God, did your just God make a just command to unalive infants?
I think God. So I don't think you could just separate and just say infants. That's what I'm getting.
Bro, you said your God was just. So was it justice when God commanded infants to be unalive?
I think God was being just in that instance when He said, "Kill."
Why can they not answer? Why can they just not answer?
Well,
I don't know. Just hear me out. Absolutely. No. Hang on.
Was it justice, Coach? Was it justice when God commanded the Amalekite infants to be unalived?
Just, not justice.
Was it just? Justice. Oh my God.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing.
No,
yes, they are. Just. Oh my God. Please.
Oh, okay, Coach. What's the difference? What is the difference between just and justice? What's the difference?
So just and how I read the text is God looking at the situation and saying, because of what hold on, Coach. What is the definitional difference between just and justice? Justice being able to make the right decision regardless of behavior.
Okay. And what is justice?
Justice is what you get for what you deserve. That is an act of what you get for what you deserve.
No, that's consequence. That's consequence.
But that's justice, right? So if you get justice for something, that means that you got
this dude is bending himself so far backwards, his feet are in his back pocket.
So let me plot an example this way.
Why do you think the words sound so much? Coach, listen for a minute. Why do the words, Coach, listen? Why do the words sound so much alike? Why do you think that might be just is? Why that prefix is exact same 4 letters?
There's a lot of words like that, but let me explain.
Can I, Coach? Can I ask you one question though? Do you think infants are innocent?
Yes, I believe babies are innocent.
Oh, awesome! So when it says that is an abomination to God to shed innocent blood, do you think what God told the Israelites to do was something that was abhorrent?
Say that last part again.
Yeah, so do you think God telling the Israelites to shed innocent blood was abhorrent?
So was important? I'm so sorry, I lost it.
All right. Do you think that's an abomination to God to unalive infants?
In context, yes. Yes.
Okay, so if shedding innocent blood is something that is evil according to God, why would He tell His people to do something evil to infants?
So you have to. So that's what I'm getting back to. You have to apply the context, right?
Oh, so these infants weren't.
I'll give you the context.
Called that in chat, by the way. They just called that in chat. They said you were going to say context next. Whoever had that on their bingo card, mark it off.
Here's the context, Coach. Hold on, Coach. I'm going to give you the context. Okay? Okay. The Israelites were fleeing Egypt, and they went into the Amalekites' land. And the Amalekites opposed them. He said, no, we don't want you coming into our land. So God got pissed at that. God said, no, I don't like that the Amalekites opposed my people from moving across the land. I command King Saul and his army to go and unalive the Amalekites and all of their infants. That's the context of the story if you read 1 Samuel 15:3. So, was it justice when God commanded his soldiers to go and unalive the Amalekite infants?
Just. It was a just decision. I'm saying it was
That's
a just.
the same thing. Injustice is the
Let me give you a reason. Let me give you an understanding why it's not.
Fuck, I can't.
Let me just give you a reason why
Can I
it's
just
not.
interject for a second?
See, I can't get this next line now, which was.
I just wanted to say that I think the ideas of just and justice are the same thing. The only difference between them is the grammatical function in a sentence. Sincerely. And I think it's the same with injustice. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, yes, y'all want a solid answer to that question. And I want to be as intellectually honest as I can. Yes, what God does is just. He cannot touch sin. And every human born is born with the guilt of sin from Adam. We inherit that. So yes, it is just for any human to perish from sin because, we're born with sin as it is.
Okay,
what
so
sin did the babies commit?
Right. So that is the guilt of Adam. Right. We stand guilty before God's law.
But the babies weren't even born yet.
Right. No. I know. I understand. So guilt is the very fact that we have sin. Right. Upon being.
Okay. Hold on. You're saying that God unalived the Amalekite babies because of what Adam did, right?
Yes.
But what about all the other people that were born after Adam? God's not just out there willy-nilly unaliving everybody because what Adam did. He specifically unalived the Amalekite babies, so you can't blame it on Adam.
Well,
yeah, and
where does
and also it says
mention original sin?
And also it says that God hates the shedding of innocent blood. If there is no innocent blood, that's just a nonsense statement.
You're saying, God unalived the Amalekite babies because what Adam did. What about everybody else who's on the earth at the time? Like, you think God is just unaliving everybody because of what Adam did? There's a very specific reason.
Why create them just to destroy them as babies? What kind of a sick SOB does that? Hey, I'm gonna make a bunch of babies and then I'm gonna unalive them all because original sin.
There's a very specific reason why God gave a command to Texas, because the Amalekites opposed to the Israelites from moving into their land. That is why God gave that command. Was that a just command?
Yes, I said yes.
It was a just command because God.
So in your world,
the Amalekites completely.
What, Coach?
Completely. So he was.
That's called genocide.
That's what we did that, right? So he killed off a bloodline.
Yeah, that's called ethnic cleansing. That's what Schmittler did.
So it was the same. I know y'all probably don't believe in Noah's Ark and all of that stuff. So I get it, right? But even in that context,
I can't even deal with these people anymore.
Even in that context, right?
So you think there's. All right, so you think there is context where unaliving infants is good?
The Amalekites, right?
Do you think there's context? I want you to answer this yes or no. Is there context where unaliving infants is a good thing?
A just thing.
Is it good or bad to unalive infants in all situations?
I don't think it's a good thing in a way we look at it today. No.
So it's something that is bad. So God told them to do something bad.
Not in that context.
So there is context where unaliving infants is good.
It's not good. You keep using good.
Is it just?
What in the
my God.
Okay.
Do you know what the word good means?
Around being
Coach, just answer the question though. I do not care about fucking just. Is it good to unalive infants in any context?
I've never seen somebody do this before.
Not in our world, no.
Okay, then God told them to do something that is not good.
He's saying
them to do something He told them to get rid of the Amalekites, including the babies, right? The animals.
He's saying just
people.
doesn't mean justice, and that justice isn't good. Like what? I appreciate Average for being straight up, being like, you know what? Yeah, just and justice are the same word, and yeah, I agree with what God did there. I appreciate that. As fucked up as it is, I appreciate the honesty there and being like truthful.
Average is really a very honest Christian.
Is gonna make it. Internet is just sitting there loading. Let's try the next guest.
Truth, come back up if you get some good internet and you want to come up. Scuba, can I get your age for TikTok purposes? Thank you, Star Wars nerd. Scuba, can I get your age for? Are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God?
I'm a Christian.
All right. Before you guys talk, let me do this real quick. Star Wars, I think you probably meant to send those to Joyful, and you sent them to me, which I really appreciate, but I think you probably meant to send them over to Joyful. Listen, you guys keep tapping that screen. We should be at 75,000 to 100 likes by now because we have Skits and Bits here tonight with Joyful. So you're getting double the pleasure, double the fun. Also, can you guys keep, giving the gifts? Send the little hats and mustache. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Star Wars nerd. I wish I had my camera on for you. Yeah, W Star Wars in the chat. And also, we're looking for a few more subbies. If you have not subscribed, please do so. It's less than a cup of coffee a month. Cancel your Netflix, your Hulu, your NFL Premium Plus, which sucks. Okay, cancel that for sure. And then start subscribing to some of your favorite creators like Deborah Grace, who just showed up, Joyful, Skits, and myself. It's much more pleasure. You're here 24/7 anyway, so subscribe to your creators. And make sure you go check out Joyful's YouTube, subscribe there, and Skits' YouTube, subscribe there, and my YouTube, subscribe there. Go ahead, Scuba, talk with Joyful and Skits.
Hey, what's up? So, God does hate the sinner. I was going to say that.
I agree.
God hated me when I was.
Not only does he hate the sinner, he wants some of the sinners to be put to unalivement.
Yeah, well, God hates the sinner, and those sinners are sinners. So it makes sense that on certain occasions and certain things, hermeneutically, a certain population needed to be unalived because of certain things they were doing or certain positions they were in, as far as against Israel and against him, against his will. Then
so what I'm hearing is that God is not all loving.
Okay, so that's the thing. That's the problem here. You have your own standard of what actual love is, what right and wrong is. I need to know where that standard lie.
Well, Corinthians 13.
No, I mean, where's your standard? You can't talk about my standard. I want to know what your
Corinthians 13 is the standard of love based on the Bible. That's the only definition given in the Bible. So if I hold God up to that definition of love, God does not meet that definition of love.
Okay, when you say God does not meet that definition of love, what is that? Read that real quick. Read the context.
Yeah, I will. So do you believe that God is jealous?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, do you believe that God holds records of wrongs?
He doesn't hold any record. He already knows what's going to happen.
Does he hold record? Are you going to be judged based on what you've done?
Of course. Well, you're going to be judged by...
Yeah, so there's a record of... So he keeps record of wrong. Is he self-seeking? Is he looking for his own glory?
Yes. Is
God...
He's the only one to be glorified.
Yeah. Is God proud?
Yeah, define that.
All right, does God, boastful. Is God boastful in himself?
I wouldn't say boastful. I would say sovereign. Like, he knows of his sovereignty, and we're supposed to be. I mean, it's automatic that he is the top, So
he is boastful. He has definitely said he's the greatest, but he has boasted, so he is boastful. I'll answer the question.
Is God?
He's boasted.
Is God? According to the Old Testament, is God easily angered?
He's not easily angered, but
okay. Let's go. I'll read you a scripture.
I gotta step away for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Let me get there. I'll find that in a second. But let's read 1 Corinthians first, and I'll bring that up here in a minute. It says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. All right, so if he's jealous of your attention to other people, would that be him being envious of your attention?
Yeah, well, he's jealous. Yeah.
Yep. So it does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. Does God dishonor the evil, the wicked?
Yeah, I know. Can I?
Yeah. Hold on. Is God self-seeking? Does he look for his own glory?
Yes, he is. He doesn't have to look for his own glory. He is the only one.
Yeah, he wants everybody to give him glory. All right. He is not easily angered. He keeps no record of wrong. Does he keep record of wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are all the things that the Bible itself says love is, and God does the exact opposite of most of these things.
Yeah, that's where you're wrong.
Absolutely not. We just went through and you answered the questions and said that he does do the opposite of these things.
You're making a straw man here.
Does love keep no record of wrongs according to the Bible?
Let me explain. You're making.
Does love keep no record of wrongs according to the Bible?
Are you gonna let me talk? Or
does love keep? You just need to answer the question. It's just a question. Does love keep no record of wrong according to the Bible?
Love keeps no record of wrong according to human beings.
According to the Bible.
We're talking to the Church of Corinth, right?
According to the Bible, does love keep no record of wrong?
According to the Bible, does love keep no record of wrong? It depends on
yes or no.
Depends on who's loving.
Yes or no, does love keep no record of wrong according to the Bible?
I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to be as nice as possible.
You're just... you did this last time you were up here and you won't answer any questions. So does love keep records of wrong?
Here, I'm going to answer this for you because he's being very disingenuous. Nowhere in that description of love does it say it depends on the person. It depends on what's happening. It depends on the time. It says this is what love is. This is how you can recognize this. This is how you will know what it is. And those words don't match up. I've muted you. You stay muted. Nowhere in the Bible does God represent what he says love is through Paul. Now you can unmute.
Yeah, so is Paul telling the Corinthians what love is here in 1 Corinthians 13?
Thank you so much. You finally answered it. Yes, Paul is telling the Corinthians what love is.
What love is. Okay, good, beautiful. No, shut up. Just shut up. So is Paul right or wrong about what love is? It's a yes or no question. I expect a yes or no answer.
You muted me, man.
Yeah, I know, because you keep yapping. Is Paul right or wrong about what love is?
Paul is right about
what love is. All right, so if love does not keep record of wrongs and God keeps record of wrong, is God love?
That's a fallacy.
That is not a fallacy. Where's the fallacy?
Which fallacy? Which fallacy is it? Which one?
So you're appealing to
which fallacy? Which fallacy is it?
It's a straw man.
It's not a straw man. Is this the definition of love according to Paul?
Will you let me talk? Will y'all let me talk, please?
Somebody get Attorney Burt back in here.
Yeah, this guy is worse than the 15-year-old.
Sorry.
The 15-year-old was smarter than
What is
Scuba.
a straw man, Scuba? What is a straw man, Scuba?
Straw man is misrepresenting the person's position in order to argue against. Okay?
Nobody did that, and you said it's a straw man.
Yes,
Nobody
it
did
is.
that. Nobody
You're not letting
said
me
what they
explain.
thought you were saying. They asked you what you were thinking, but you didn't answer the question. And they kept asking you, and so Skits just said what it is, and then you said it's a straw man. No, he wasn't supposing your position.
Hey, so someone
Not at all.
Someone in the chat, Matt Hopwood, you made a good point there. Look, I'm trying to explain why it's a straw man, but nobody's let me explain why it's a straw man. Can y'all please?
Scuba, is love patient?
Oh my goodness gracious, bro! You're
Is
not-
love patient?
Are we really going through this again?
Is love patient?
Yes.
Is love kind?
Yes.
Does love envy?
No.
Does love boast?
No.
Is love prideful?
No.
Does love dishonor others?
No.
Is love self-seeking?
No.
Is love easily angered?
No.
Does love keep record of wrongs?
No.
Okay, so God is not love. So let's move on to our next thing.
Straw man, of course.
That is not a straw man. You literally just answered the question.
Wait, doesn't God do all those things? Like, isn't God?
That first
Wait,
Corinthians
sounds like God's not love. If love isn't any of those things, but God is those things.
It's unreasonable. Because you know that there's truth there.
Kind of sounds like God isn't love.
Fallacious reasoning here, but you're like automatically.
It's not.
Yeah.
Point me to another place that describes what love is in the Bible. Show me one other place.
No, you showed a good spot.
Show me one other place that shows what love is in the Bible.
No, I choose that place. But I just want to.
Okay, so does God meet the requirements of love according to this?
You are not. No, God.
Does God meet the requirements of what love is according to this passage?
No, that's a no. That's a hard no.
Yeah, so God is not love. All right,
No,
so we can move on.
It's not. That's
no,
not
he
to
does.
God. That's to men. That's not to God.
Nope. So love is love. Okay, there's a word called love. Okay, and so if we're talking about the word love, there's a definition of love. The definition of love is these things. So if God says he is love and does not meet the definition of love, that means that he's not love. It's really that simple, Scuba. I don't know why you have to jump through all these hoops and break your neck doing handstands to try to...
Hey, Scuba.
Love just by itself.
Hey, Scuba.
Love God should show. See, you're talking about
Scuba,
and you're talking about.
Hey, Scuba. Are you there?
Go ahead and ask him, Skits. I keep muting him because he won't shut the fuck up.
Don't keep muting me. I'm done. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Scuba, wait, hold on. Don't hold on. I want. Is Jesus love?
Oh, he left. Oh well.
Oh, come on.
We have plenty of other people in here. That's why I was over it.
Hello? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
So what do y'all think?
Are you 18 plus?
Oh yeah, I'm 18.
Okay. Is Jesus love?
Yeah.
Okay, if Jesus is love, why did he say that you have to hate your family in order to follow him?
Where does it say that?
Luke 14:26.
You know it doesn't say that, right?
Yeah, we'll read it.
It says, whoever comes to me and doesn't hate their father and mother, wife and children, brothers and sisters, yes, even life itself, they cannot be my disciple. Whoever does not carry the cross and follow me cannot be my disciple.
Oh, you said Luke what?
Luke 14:26.
Okay, give me a second.
If Jesus is love, why does he say that you can't follow him unless you hate your family and even your own life?
Give me 1 second, bro.
I just read it.
He has to read it in the KJV.
This is like one of the main verses in the New Testament that Christians don't read. Christians love the New Testament, but they do not know this verse.
Sorry you had to do the introductions there. I was being a good, dutiful wife and serving Doug the Rock.
You better.
Amen.
Yeah.
I just wanted to point out something that my Bible says about that verse. It says, "Those who would be Christ's disciples must love their family less than they love Christ."
It doesn't say to love them less. It says to hate. Oh, that guy took off. It doesn't say to love them less. It says that unless you want to be my follower, you must hate your family.
Yeah, and the word is hate. But apologetics do say what you say, average. That is the common apologetic. That's not what it says, but that is the common apologetic. Hi, Sandra. Can I get your age for TikTok purposes? That is the common apologetic. Hi, Sandra. You have an echo, so I'm going to mute you. And what I need you to do, Sandra, is just go to like your messages or go to Google something and then come right back to the app. And that should get rid of the echo. But I need you to teacup for a second. Go out of the app for a second and come right back. Funny how when we want them to teacup, I can't get them to do it. But when we are in like the middle of debating and they suddenly teacup.
Sandra, swipe up and swipe back in.
Yep.
Oh.
That was our last. I'm just playing. I figured I'd keep you up here because you could help out the other Christians because you do know your Bible a lot better than most, and I figured you could at least try to help them out a bit.
Yeah, I was actually going to message you at some point and be like, "Hey, could I like come up here and just kind of like help out and stuff?" Because
oh yeah, for sure. And that's kind of what I was thinking. I have Skits up here. I might as well have a Christian I know knows the Bible up here to help.
Yay.
The Christians out a bit.
Let's see if he knows the Bible. Let's test him.
Oh boy.
What does Genesis 1:1 say?
God created the heavens and the earth.
What
Wrong.
Does it say?
No, I'm just.
What does it say?
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
That's wrong, actually.
Okay.
It doesn't say heavens. It doesn't say heavens plural. It says heaven.
Bible quizzes because I am like you. You know that. I know my Bible, but don't quiz me on it, man. I'm gonna totally fail if you do that.
Well, Skits, I just want to say that the ESV actually does say heavens, but
nobody read.
I think I'm leaning more towards Calvinism beliefs at this point.
Yeah, that would
make
the
sense.
road to deconstruction.
If I was a Christian, I would, especially if I thought that God was all-knowing, I would be a Calvinist.
Well, something that I've realized is that as I continue to, defend the faith, is that without believing in the absolute sovereignty of God, I just keep going through loopholes. But believing in the absolute sovereignty of God brings things into one cohesive argument. So.
Yep. I agree with you. I think that's the only way to really take the Bible and make it actually make cohesive sense.
Yeah, so that's why I'm.
Hey, Sandra, can I get your age for TikTok?
To your text messages. Do not exit out. Just go into your text messages and then come right back. LOL.
Sandra, you have to swipe out of the app and swipe back in. Swipe up and swipe back in.
Yeah, we don't want to chat with you. We want you to go check your phone text messages.
You're commenting in the chat, which means you're still in the app. You have to leave the app and come back.
Yeah, Bluetooth. You may need to turn that off. Okay, not leave. Okay, happens every time. I'm telling you guys, happens every time.
Yeah,
King Kush may come up. They are a follower of Christ.
I have
Hey,
to
you guys,
drop
just
out
a quick
in a few
reminder.
minutes, Joyful.
Right on, man.
No.
I'm sorry, guys. I do have to drop
Okay,
out.
we got to get one more Christian for Skits to cook, you guys. So get in the box right now. Come up here. Now's your chance.
Joyful cook. I'm front row center right now watching Joyful cook these guys.
Oh yeah.
Joyful set a new gift goal, and you guys, a quick reminder: you can tip Joyful, myself, Skits. Just go to our bios, and you'll find all the necessary apps to send us a little tip if you want. 666. Hail Satan.
So I wanted to bring up flat Earth and how it's very wrong. Just wanted to bring that up in the.
Why is it wrong? Why is it wrong for the Earth to be flat? Like, why is that a moral issue with you?
Oh no, I'm not saying it's a moral issue. I just want to bring it up. Okay.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Okay. Because I've been on here and I've had people. There's been people that have come up and been like, the Earth is flat, and I'm just like there was this TikTok live that I went on. Well, I wasn't on it. I just kind of was passing through, and I was like, oh my gosh. And he was just like, nope, the Earth is flat. Your evidence. I was like, what are you even talking about? Like, do you hear the words coming out of your mouth?
The moon emits cold light. That was my favorite one.
Oh yeah, I have heard that one. Sandra, let's try again. Okay, now listen. Okay, don't go anywhere. Do you hear me? Don't leave this app. Do you understand me? I mean, don't leave the live. Okay. I'm going to mute you. And all I want you to do is swipe to another app, any app on your phone. Pretend like you're going to Google
I think she's
something.
good.
Maybe,
I think Sandra's
wait,
good.
wait, talk and let's see if you're good, Sandra. It might have got fixed.
Are you there, Sandra?
Okay, can
Sandra?
you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Okay, can I get your age for TikTok purposes?
Yes, I'm 51.
All right, and are you a Christian or a believer in the Christian God?
Yeah, I'm a follower of Christ, but I don't believe like most Christians do, though.
Okay, you're Sadak.
Because I have to admit that man has labeled me as schizophrenic, although I believe because of my faith and everything that I just, for some reason, have been opened up to the spiritual realm, if that makes any sense. You know, like I've had experiences like, I'm no Moses by any means, but if Moses was in today's time, for instance, and he said he was going to go to the mountaintop where God's known to rest, and he's seen a burning bush speaking to him with God's voice, what label would you give him for today?
I want to ask you a question. As a person who does, I do have bipolar disorder, and so I'm going to ask you a question, and the way you answer this question is whether we can keep you up on the live or not. Have you been diagnosed with schizophrenic disorder? And are you medicated? If you were, are you medicated?
Yes, I do take medication, but I still see and hear.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, so do you believe that the Bible is true?
I believe that the Bible is subjective because God is dealing with mankind, and so he's given us several things because of the hardness of our hearts or our understanding at the time, but it wasn't necessarily his will. And I can give you some examples if you'd like.
Yeah, like what?
Like, for instance, when he wanted to be king over the Jews said, no, give us a man, give us a man. And because of the hardness of their hearts, he gave them King Saul. But his will is done nonetheless through Jesus Christ, right? And Moses' law of divorcement, Jesus said in the beginning it was not so, but because slavery.
Wasn't. No, we didn't. It is nowhere in there.
Okay.
It is just
well,
something
I understand
he
that,
condones.
but you're saying, did I misunderstand that the law was given because the Jews, again, were being stiff-necked and said, you know, hey,
No, the
tell us
Levitical
what to
law
do
was laid
plainly and
down.
we will do it. And even though he knew that they couldn't, he went ahead and gave them the law, but we have grace through Jesus Christ.
No, the Levitical law wasn't given to the Israelites because they were a stiff-necked people and needed law. He had been giving laws and commands since the day we were placed on this earth. Do not forget, he said, be fruitful and multiply. That was a command. That wasn't a suggestion. So that is something that God had done throughout the entirety of the Bible.
Yes, I understand that, but there are some things that was God's intention, but not given to us
One
because
thing,
of the hardness
the
of our
divorce.
hearts, so to speak.
But there
It
is
wasn't
nowhere
his
else in the
will.
Levitical
Like,
law
for
did
instance,
any of those.
homosexuality being a sin, I don't believe it's a sin. I think that was given to us because of our hardness of heart. Because
we can't
Jesus
say that
didn't
word.
say anything about
Sandra,
it.
wait a second. Wait a second. We can't say that word, okay? So when you talk about the LGBTQIA, you have to either say LGBT or rainbow
Oh,
people.
I'm sorry.
Or, okay, yeah, no problem. Just want to let you know.
Okay. But anyway, you know, you look to the creation of us, right?
Yeah.
Adam created male.
Sandra, can I ask you a couple questions just really quick?
Sure, no problem.
A reason I believe God is evil is, so could God have created a world where there was no, like, evil or suffering?
Yes, I'm sure that he probably could, but shouldn't we understand? I mean, grant you, I'm bare minimum here sometimes in my understanding, but should we understand that being children of an almighty God, right, that to build our character and to bring that character out, wouldn't you be tested?
Well, okay, so
we need cancer for
on
character.
Earth, and grant you, in that moment, we can feel some pretty horrific.
So
atrocities
10-year-olds
and
need cancer for
pain.
character. You're saying 10-year-olds need cancer for character.
No, I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying, but their parents and whoever's around them is being tested, right?
Okay,
if your God
so
is testing people, then he's not all-knowing.
Huh?
If your God is testing people, then he's not all-knowing.
He tests them, frankly, because of the enemy.
Okay, so 10-year-olds
Skits
cancer?
said, Sandra, Skits said, if God is testing people, then he is not all-knowing.
Sorry, may I
believe
interject
he
about
is,
the,
actually, because you've seen that in the test with Job. He knew that Job was a righteous man. He knew that Job would go through the testing and everything and he would be fine. But Satan didn't, though.
So you're saying he put Job through hell for nothing?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
So I think
saying
that when it comes to testing,
I'm sorry?
I think that when it comes to God testing people, sorry, I'm a Christian as well, so I'm on your side, but I just wanted to clarify. So I think when God says testing, is that what he's doing is, yes, so in the sense that God already knows what's going to happen, right, and predestination and all that, if we're going to say that, I think that when it comes to testing, he is allowing the individual to see in themselves the very faith that they have in God, if that makes sense.
I agree.
But he already knows the end result of what they're going to see.
Well,
So
it's not for God, it's for them.
But yeah, God already knows what they're going to get out of it.
I disagree with I believe that Jesus died fully the Son of Man, first physical death, and fully the Son of God, second spiritual death. And with every knee bowing and tongue confession at the end of the next stage, after Lucifer and the angels, because remember, that's what the lake of fire was originally for, after they paid the wages of sin. If you just hear me out, please.
No, you're just
after
preaching.
they pay the wages of sin.
No. We don't do that. That's not how we run the live. That's called gish galloping. And what you're doing is saying as much stuff as you can, as quickly as you can, so that we forget what we're talking about and the whole conversation gets lost. We're going to reel you in. We're going to get back on topic.
Okay, so back to what I was originally saying. Be all good. So why do people way, like himself, not to need those things. That would have saved a lot of infants getting cancer. It would have saved a lot of pain and suffering that was unnecessary.
She's just gonna go back to like it builds character. It's the character thing, and like
no, actually, I wasn't. I believe that even Lucifer is going to be redeemed. That all is going to be redeemed at the end.
But that's
and
not
I
what
was
he
trying to
asked.
explain that. That's the only reason why I was talking so fast, because it was a lot of information that I had to get out as to back up what I believe. Because
That's not what he
Jesus
asked you.
loved all
He didn't
of us
ask you.
where
He didn't
we're
ask
at.
you. He didn't ask you what you believe. He asked you why didn't God create a universe where there was no evil? Essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what he's asking is.
Yeah.
How much did you guys hear? I didn't see that you had hit the mic on me.
Joyful. I have to
Didn't
drop
hear
out, but thank
anything.
you so much for inviting me onto your live, Joyful.
No,
Thank you.
Skits, you are welcome anytime. Let me know if you ever want to do this again, man.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you,
Thank
Crystal.
you,
Thank you.
Skits.
See you, Skits.